Testing. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Here we are.
All right, I'm gonna do a sync.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Mark.
All right. So recording levels look good.
Yep.
I got my heating and air turned off. About to sweat it up in here.
Yeah.
That would be another thing if we ever did a video version. Again, I know. So yeah, don't want to do that. I'm just saying, like,
You'd
if we
start
get
to
like
sweat?
if we get a bajillion subscribers, people are going to realize that I have to deal with sweat. I think I record every show in a tank top because it's just, first of all,
It's too hot.
I turn off the heat, I turn off the air conditioning and stuff, and it's cold outside right now. It's fucking 50 degrees. But I'm upstairs, so it gets hotter. I make a blanket for it, so it gets hotter. I got the computer running and the door shut, so it gets hotter. Yeah, everything's turned off. I just bought a dehumidifier. I don't want to jump into random bullshit too soon, but I just bought a dehumidifier, and I am all about this. This is like my new hobby. Just collecting water from the air.
And then, do you do anything with that water?
Well, you can iron with it. I could preserve it. I don't know if you can drink it. I don't know if it's drinkable. I don't know how good it is. But
Probably dusty.
No, it gets filtered. So it's
if
like
there's a filter.
Yeah, and I was told the filter does not need replaced. I love not replacing things. It's my favorite. But it's like, I let that sucker run for a while, and let's say the relative humidity in my upstairs. See, I was worried we were getting musty out here. Like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I was worried my apartment was getting a little musty.
Oh,
You know, it's like we cook constantly. We take hot showers.
sweat up a storm?
We air dry our clothes.
Okay.
So I'm like, there's a lot of dampness in here.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that it's reflecting in our smell. So it's been a long time coming, but I bought a dehumidifier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sucking that moisture right out of the air. And it's a little wild to just have this little box running, making noise, filtering air through. And then you have this bucket of water. It's like, what the fuck? Where did you come from? It's crazy stuff. But yeah, every time I dump it out, I'm like, Claire, look at all the water in here. Listen to me dump it out. Because she never wants to come see it. I'm just like, listen to me dump it out. Look how long that's taking. Yeah.
It's free water.
I know, it's free water. Yeah, in this economy, that's something.
Yeah.
That thing's going to pay for itself given, I don't know, a couple of years.
We're gonna use it to fill up our baths here pretty quick.
Yeah, you're going to be bathing with this now. Also, I have terrible neighbors now. So if you hear, I mean, you won't, but probably through Discord you won't. But, you know, in the recording, if you hear someone practicing like their jujitsu skills on my wall, I may or may not repeat what I'm saying, depending on how bad it is.
Is it children?
It's definitely children.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that these are like the worst neighbors we've ever had.
Damn.
And that's perfect timing
Worse
for that.
than Sexercise bike people?
Sexercise bike was like child's play compared to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have, you know, constant domestic spouts and crazy children and like a permeating weed smell that just enters our apartment. See, living cheaply has its drawbacks, guys. It's not all glitz and glam out here.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll be housing it up like you. And if you hear me like just like yell, maybe kick the wall, might have to happen. I've never yelled.
Put those kids, scold them.
Claire's gone, no, a couple times. I'm sometimes in a position to just like kick the shit out of the wall.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
Anyway, this is welcome to Analog Stick. Hear me out. A video game retrospective podcast. Let's try that on for size. Okay,
but see, you say that, but we have plans for next episode, right?
See, but that's, you know, I think it's within the scope.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, considering the movie.
But the podcast where every month take an in-depth look at one game, movie, or other creative work from years past, and we cover its development, discuss its legacy, share our memories, stories, and critiques of the work through our modern 2025 eyeballs and brain cells. Anyway. the new release schedule is going to be the first of every month. So you're getting it sooner than usual.
By
You're
one
welcome,
day.
everybody.
That's
By one day.
That's a
yep.
deal.
I feel like since we don't have the PlayStation 2 to kind of lean on right now, it's like, okay, let's just do the first of every month. I like that better. New month, new episode. I feel like that's easy to remember. So yeah, subscribe or follow if you'd like to stay up to date with the show. Please support the podcast by leaving a review or rating on whatever platform you'd like to listen on. You can find us on podcast platforms and YouTube as Analogschtick. I'm your host, Clayton, joined as always by my co-host and voice of SpongeBob, Morgan. Morgan, how are you?
You don't
want to do a SpongeBob impression?
Well, I was getting myself hyped up, and it might sound really bad. Okay, so Tom Kenny, when he does the SpongeBob laugh, he like grabs his neck, and he like...
Oh, that was better than I was expecting. But
was it?
Yeah.
But I don't think I could... it wasn't it, though. It wasn't SpongeBob.
I think I would probably guess what you were doing.
Okay.
If nothing else. Someone I work with does a killer Plankton impression.
Yeah?
An absolutely killer Plankton. Mr. Lawrence.
That's
I
good.
couldn't do it. He's got the ability to go real deep with his voice.
Oh, yeah. That is kind of a deep voice.
Anyway, Morgan, let's go through some housekeeping. We have some listener letters. I want to let you take this first one. We got a very nice letter from Sloan. I'm going to let Morgan read it.
Do you want me to read it word for word? There's no like personal information in this, is there? Like not too personal? I don't
think so. I mean...
I'm skimming. I don't see anything. I think we're fine.
Okay. How about we... let me see. Maybe we do actually... Maybe going forward, any emails. All right, guys, hear me? You listening? Everyone's listening right now. If you email us, we may read it, unless you tell us to exclude something.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah, is there anything that we should? Is there?
No, I don't think so.
This is pretty vague.
Yeah, we'll do our best to like.
She's not like I live in. Also,
right.
We just discussed this. Maybe he. Not Claire.
Also,
not
yeah.
Clear.
If you send us an email, feel free to include your pronouns, and we will do our best to respect those as well.
If you don't include your pronouns, we will do our best to guess. Or guess.
Possibly,
anyway.
or just not refer to you by any pronouns at all.
And if we misgender you, Sloan, just know that you also misspelled Morgan's name. So it's
really?
fair. Tit for tat. Yeah.
Well, no, that's fine. I don't care. Anyway, so because I don't care, Sloan, you're not allowed to care if we... No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
Anyway, so you want me to read this one?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Hi, Clayton and Morgan, with an E, not with an A, like it's supposed to be spelled. Anyway.
Oh, in my head, I was like, yeah, they forgot the O.
Okay, listen. I know we've talked about this. I know we've talked about this before, I think in private. Do you have dyslexia? Is there something where you process the words on a page? Are you okay?
Like, I don't think so, because like I've met people with dyslexia and I'm like, I don't think I got that. Like how they describe it. It's like, no, I don't do that.
It's not like the letters aren't like switching places. They're not transforming or like, okay.
Do I sometimes struggle with stuff? I think I was just taught to read wrong. I think that's the main problem.
What do you mean taught to read wrong?
Like our generation, Claire likes to, this is one of her favorite subjects. Like the method that we were taught, like our generation was taught, was not the method everyone had been taught for time in memoriam. So they were just testing out something new for us, and it didn't work very well.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah. That's why literacy rates are kind of low.
Oh my God. I can read.
Yeah, you can read. So like if you were taught to read, like by your parents or something, that probably helped.
I don't think they did.
You might just be smarter. I don't know.
You know what happened is I would try to read in front of them, and if I messed something up, they would make fun of me. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, "Say that again. What was that?
Say that again.
Say that again."
Do they like slap their knees?
Yeah.
Yeah, Claire likes to talk about how we were taught to read wrong. I had to go to summer school because I didn't know how to read.
Oh, really?
In like first grade.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
They're like, yeah, his reading scores aren't good. And I still don't read. Most of the books I read have pictures. So, you know.
The manga.
Yeah. Yeah. I only read books with pictures.
Okay.
Which is helpful.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
back to the email. Sorry.
Right. Hi, Clayton and Morgan. My name is Sloan.
We really just read 4 words of the email and then went on that whole diatribe.
And you just interrupted me again. So
I know, but I had to point it out. I had to point it out that we barely made it into the email. Anyway, no more interruptions.
Hi, Clayton and Morgan. My name is Sloan. I'm a redacted age, blue-collar environmental scientist who loves your podcast. Loves is in all caps, by the way. I want that on the record, that loves is in all caps. Mm-hmm. When I'm out in the field or stuck in the office, mindlessly filling out Excel? You fucking hick. You're doing what my parents did to me. I'm having war flashbacks.
Excel tables. Holy shit, Morgan.
When I am out in the field or stuck in the office, mindlessly filling out, oh my God, I can't read, Excel tables, I frequently turn to your podcast. Like you guys, I love the PS2 era and find myself going back to my childhood games that I've already beaten 100% twice, rather than experiencing something new. That sounds like something I would do. I relate to this.
Did you write this email? Is this just like a fake account you made?
I don't know. I also work with Excel tables more than I would like, so maybe. I discovered your podcast when I wanted to listen to the Tulip soundtrack on Spotify. Yes, some people enjoy the Scarecrow Field a cappella. And your Tulip episode was the first to pop up. What do you think about that, Clayton?
I feel like, well, first, this is like a self-report. I feel like mentioning that, I was looking for Tulip content and I found your podcast. All right, homie. Yeah, you're one of the weird ones then.
Well, we're probably like the only... Well, I don't actually know. As far as like podcast content about Tulip, I would assume we're probably one of the only things.
Maybe the only, I don't know.
Can you look that up for me while I keep reading?
I'm going to look up Tulip podcast and see if we're the first result.
Yeah. I instantly fell in love with the show's pacing. Thanks. Because we get a lot of complaints about that.
The show will be what it is. Yeah. We're looking for people who like what we do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So I instantly fell in love with the show's pacing, how the game's plot is always told, your banter, and that it isn't just opinions thrown one after the other. It's structured. Thanks. We try.
Yeah, you know.
That's how the random bullshit section was spawned.
Right.
Anyway, after binge listening to your podcast multiple times at work, I sadly learned how you were both taking a hiatus. I'm currently saving the Kingdom Hearts episode for last, as that is one of my all-time favorite PS2 games, and it'll be bittersweet knowing it'll be the end. Without your podcast, I will have much sadder days at work, resulting in low productivity, ergo, the environment will suffer. Oh no. Clayton, this isn't the time to laugh. The environment.
Oh, yeah, I just thought it was a funny, it's a well-written email. I'm sorry.
Okay, it is. Yeah, it is. Please, you must save the environment and keep my brain endlessly entertained with your life update banner and old-timey PS2 opinions. Well, we are here to make good on that and do our part to save the environment. Mm-hmm. In all seriousness, I think you two have something special here, and if you keep going, I have this feeling it'll pay off more than you know. If, by some miracle, this email is even read and motivates you two to try again, I would love to suggest We Love Katamari as the next game. I know you'd like to branch out of PS2 titles, but it's worth consideration, and has an amazing soundtrack and a cutesy design with a tragic but beautiful backstory of the king, all while you roll up stuff. That sounds wonderful. I am intrigued by this king's backstory. I'm down to play this some point soon.
Oh yeah, Katamari is like it's on the list.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I want to get to it.
Okay. I wish I discovered the pod while episodes were still coming out. I would be leaving hella comments every time with suggestions and love. I hope you are both doing well, Sloan. We are doing well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
for the well wishes.
I'm also sorry that neither of us saw your email whenever you sent it in February.
Yeah, were we getting ready to record again then?
Oh,
I don't remember.
We might have actually discussed it around that time.
Because I know that our return episode was recorded like not that long after this, right?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it was in March.
Okay.
Like early March we recorded it. So we probably talked about it. So
I do find it funny, I guess funny-ish. Mentioning the Kingdom Hearts episode because that was a nightmare for us. I don't know if we mentioned that in the episode or not, but we had to re-record. Yeah. I think the same. That
was the one we re-recorded?
Like 3 times? Was it 2 times or 3 times?
Oh, I don't know. There was like many recording sessions.
Right. Yeah. And that one also has a really long rambling discussion about Gnosticism. So if you haven't listened to that one yet,
we had to re-record that one. Yeah, because I remember like being like, Damn, that sucks for you. Because you were like the main one talking during that chunk of the recording.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, I also felt bad for you because, like, the Gnosticism stuff I was rambling about was kind of, like, hard to, I don't know, like, it was just, like, I don't know, complicated stuff.
Maybe it was good for me. Maybe I needed, like, a dry run to, like, you know, build up some, like, funny responses.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the email. I this is why I love the email format, because we get these nicely worded, like, hey, here's who I am, who enjoys your podcast. Here's like what I do. Here's, you know, the job that I do while I'm listening to this. And I like that. I like providing content for all the grinders out there, saving the environment or driving trucks or whatever. That's fun for me. Yeah, because I mean, I have a dog shit commute too, so I very much rely on like podcast content to like keep me from, I don't know, jerking
driving
the wheel
off
to
the
the
side
right.
of a bridge.
Yeah, just being like, fuck this.
Oh my
man,
God.
I had such a dog shit. I said dog shit. Dog shit's my favorite adjective right now.
Okay.
I had such a terrible week with commuting. Like, I think, I'm going to say like 5 of my, you know, trips, you know, being that I take 2 every day, I think 5 of them had like a significant slowdown. One was so insane that I ended up in parts of the city that we both know that I live in.
Yes.
Or this, the major city. I ended up in parts of that city that I'm like, oh shit, this is what the bad part's like, huh? Google Maps was just taking me for a ride, and I'm like, well, I've literally never been here. And I'm trying not to come back, but
yeah. Is it construction or like an accident or?
So right now there's construction on the route that I take that has basically a bottleneck on a bridge that has that down to 2 lanes, no shoulder.
Jeez.
So it's like accident prone. And if there is an accident, it's fucked. Like it could close both lanes and then you're mega fucked.
Right.
Or it could close one lane and you're still mega fucked, but with a glimmer of hope.
Mega fucked with a caveat.
Mega fucked with the caveat of like traffic can still technically move.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen accidents where it's like a truck kind of like there's some accident that takes up both lanes and it's like, well, see you tomorrow, wife. I'm not making it home today. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The rest of the route had been under construction for a while. This is an exciting podcast. The rest of the route had been under construction for a while and is now much better. So when there's an accident there, it's like, okay, I got a handful of other lanes to work with. So like the rest of it's good. There's just going to be I don't know, 2 more years of fucking bridge shit. Because they're building, I think, another bridge. They built a bridge, and because it was always kind of a shitty 2-lane bridge. They built another bridge, and I'm like, oh, cool, now we have 2 bridges to work with. And then they destroyed the first bridge, and I'm like, no, we needed that. And now they're building another bridge.
They said, fuck your efficiency.
Yeah, so there will be 2 bridges, but we have to build. Bridge number 3 has to be built first.
Okay.
Oh, and bridge number 2 took so long. Anyway.
What's the status on the other Tulip podcast content?
Oh, I didn't see anything that wasn't like a stream.
All right.
But yeah, Sloan, thank you for the email.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Love hearing from you guys. Very funny email. If you are indeed a lady listener, that's cool. I want to have that nice 50-50 demographic split. So if you are a lady listener, have lady friends, you need to infect other people with this podcast and spread it. Oh, because we're looking for perfect balance.
Yeah. Also, Sloan.
And if you're a guy, you need to step down.
Oh,
you need to withdraw your subscription so we can even it out. I'm sorry, it just has to happen.
What about non-binary?
If you're non-binary, you're good. You're not part of this fight. You don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
You're just chilling. Actually, in fact, if any of you are willing to change your gender identity for the sake of our demographics, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. So give me a shout out. I'll give you like a rebate on the podcast or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I was also going to say, Sloan, if/when you listen to the Kingdom Hearts episode, if you have any thoughts or things that you want to share about that, please email us back or leave a comment or whatever. We will find it. I guess we'll find it. If you say something, we'll find it.
Yeah. And we are, I think, done with hiatuses for I mean, like a year-long hiatus, probably. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if we ever like fully discussed the hiatus. It was a me thing. I brought it up. I was like, I'm burnt out with, I might have been depressed, Morgan. I'm just throwing that out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just throwing that. I'm like, why is everything not fun?
Yeah. Well, I knew that like you were feeling burnt out, but I didn't know, or I guess I didn't consider that like depression might have been a factor.
See, I don't know. I think it was like slightly like career stuff where I was just like, I like started to like spend more time like developing some career traits, and then I was like, I don't even want to fucking do this after a while. So now I have time again. I don't know. I don't need to be specific, but
Gotcha.
Yeah, no more year-long hiatuses. So we're gonna be there for you as you're saving the environment. And yeah, feel free to listen to the Kingdom Hearts podcast. I do like that the Kingdom Hearts podcast was like the last episode. Could have been the last episode. Like Kingdom Hearts just like took me out basically. Like I can't play video games anymore.
That's the one that broke you.
That's the one that broke me.
You got through Donald Going Quackers. You got through Oni.
Forgot we did Donald Duck Going Quackers.
Yeah.
Our like not most viewed YouTube video, but like
which one is it?
It's like our third.
Okay.
What is our most viewed? Oh, I'm on the wrong YouTube channel. Let me check real quick.
I think our most viewed, isn't it Rule of Rose?
Yeah, Rule of Rose got big because had I assume an evocative title and thumbnail.
And
yeah, Donald Duck Going Quackers is number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. YouTube's weird. Like we get like very consistent views on podcast platforms. Like I think our floor is like 150, maybe 200 views on a podcast with a ceiling for higher views if it's like a more popular game or whatever. YouTube's a little bit more all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Just because I assume YouTube is very recommendation focused. Like if you have an appealing title, thumbnail, or if YouTube decides to push it to people's like recommended, it probably gets viewed more. But yeah, right now top 3 is Rule of Rose, Donald Duck Going Quackers, and Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Fun. Why? I don't know. It's also interesting that we like my theory is kind of proven correct in that we are like somewhat of an evergreen podcast because views kept rolling in at a pretty consistent rate during the break. I assume from people like Sloan finding the show, despite new episodes not being released, just because it's like, hey, I want to find something about this specific game. Oh, there's that specific game. So like just the more that we do, the bigger net we cast. It just, I don't know.
That makes sense.
Funnels people to the show. Anyway, we have another letter from Jacob. If you don't have anything to add to Sloan's.
No.
All right. Got another shorter letter from Jacob. Hi guys, my name is Jacob. We already know Jacob. I told everyone. Anyway, I'm a store manager in retail, and your podcast is one that I have listened to mostly at work. I have listened to all of your episodes and followed you guys for a while on Apple Podcast. I've noticed that it's been about 4 months since you guys have posted. He sent this in October. And once again, sorry, didn't see it until the following calendar year. Listen, going forward, if you email us, I will see it. I will check it. I turned my notifications back on. Anyway, I've noticed this. Yeah, I've noticed it's been about 4 months. I check every day. How sweet. I'm still excited for the next one you guys put out. I'm really enjoying the long episodes. See, this is what I'm talking about. We got to find the people who like what we already do. We don't need to. I'm not trying to cater to someone who shows up and it's like, make the podcast shorter. Get better at listening to podcasts. I don't know. Have more time to waste on podcasts. I don't know what to tell you.
It flex that attention span of yours.
It flex the attention span. Yeah. They take up most of my shift while I'm working, but I'm worried. You guys have been gone. Or I'm worried because it's been so long.
Yeah, we died.
I hope that, yeah, we sorry. This is AI Morgan and Clayton.
Oh no.
Yeah, my what is it? My estate decided to continue this podcast with an AI version of me. So
my estate couldn't afford an AI version, so they contacted a medium. So I'm actually speaking to you through a Ouija board right now.
Damn. And it's being translated through ChatGPT into a voice that you can hear.
Right.
Anyway, hope everything is good for you guys. I actually don't read correctly, so I'm actually not word for word reading your email. I'm making like weird amendments. But I think that I'm getting your sense.
How to read, right?
Yeah, I wasn't taught how to read, so I'm making like weird amendments to how you word things. I apologize, but I think I'm getting your sentiment across. Still,
yeah, we don't do like journalism here. If you send us something, it's getting paraphrased.
It's like paraphrasing, but like my brain paraphrases without me asking it to. Anyway, hope that you guys are succeeding as much as you can in life. Again, yeah, see, I did it wrong. Wait, no, as much as you can. Oh, I did it right. Fuck me. Anyway, hope you return soon. With love, big fan, Jacob. Jacob, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. If you want to write in, leave us a letter, analogschtickmail@gmail.com. First link in the description.
For 1 second, when you said if you want to write in, for some reason I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, why would I do that?
Yeah, Morgan, if you could create some more fake accounts.
I could set up some sock puppets.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sloan character you created was great.
Thanks.
But if you could create some more fake accounts, that'd be fantastic. Give us some content for the show.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to write
I'll make sure to generate some fake emails for this audio format that we're doing this in. Okay.
It's just for me. Like, honestly, real quick.
Do you think this is a conspiracy?
So I kind of live my life with just a like fun. I'm not going to say like a schizophrenic, like I think that this is real, but in my head, I'm like, it could all be fake. It could be an elaborate ploy by my friends to just make my life more interesting.
The podcast?
The podcast. So here's the thing, like I look at our podcast like back end thing, and it's like numbers go up. It's like, okay, cool. Until you actually like write in, I don't believe that anyone listened to the show. So
That's
like
fair.
Now that like when we did our like welcome back thing, it's like, okay, that's weird. In my head, we were putting this out into the void, but turns out there were like actual people enjoying this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I assume you feel the same.
Yeah, no. That's totally a thing. Especially like with just, I think posting stuff on the internet in general. So like, I think we've referenced before that like I write fanfic for funsies.
Yeah.
So I guess like, yeah, I post it and it's like, I get, hundreds and like thousands of like hits on the fanfic, but it doesn't like really register with me until someone leaves a comment or until someone like leaves likes on it or something. And then I'm like, oh, there's actually real people that are reading this. Oops. Like number on screen, monkey brain can't connect that to actual living human beings.
Honestly, because it's like we have some people who like wrote in and stuff, but now I'm trying. Like, I have so many podcasts that I've listened to for fucking years. Like, my entire life, basically. Never interacted, never left a comment, never done anything. So I'm like, there's probably like a handful of people like that for us as well who are just like, yeah, I just enjoy the show and I don't interact with it. And it's, so there's, above and beyond the people that like also reach out. There's probably also people who are like, yeah, I'd listen to the podcast. Anyway, yeah. Write in analogschtickmail@gmail.com in the description. Much like Sloan and Jacob, tell us where you listen.
Send me your address.
Send me your address.
I will be normal with it.
Let me know when you're out of the house as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's interesting. Like where you work, what you do. I don't know. It's like I use this show to like get through this grindy part of my life. I think that's fun. And if you got any recommendations, feel free to drop those in as well. Thank you. We kind of already touched on this, but our comeback episode was more warmly received than I was ready for. I was like, we're going to put this out. It's going to get 2 views on YouTube because everyone left.
Everyone's moved on with their lives.
Yeah, I was like, it's weird that we have a tiny audience, but the tiny audience was still here for our dumb little podcast. So, quick, I just want to name a few people.
Wait, on this first one, maybe leave out the last name just to be safe.
Okay. I will say, going forward, if you post in a public forum or write an email to us, we won't read your email out, like your email your email address. We will read what you put in the email as like the signature, and anything in that email, we will read it out on the show. Fair warning. So Austin, last name redacted. He's got that little Muppet looking character as his profile picture on Spotify.
Thanks, Austin.
Track him down. Yeah, thanks, Austin. Thanks for listening. Thank you for welcoming us back. Sloan, Pizza Hotline, Pizza Boy, thank you. Smelly Blake, shout out. Get some deodorant. Red X Freddy, cool name. I wish my parents put an X in between my first and last name as well. And Tom Astronaut, your name fucking gave me a conniption when I read it, but thank you for reaching out.
I was going to say, I like it. I like how one
I
thing
like
leads
it
into
too,
the other.
but I was like, what? Thomas Astronaut. Wait. No. Thomas.
You got to go easy on us.
Remember, Tom Astronaut.
We're taught how to read right.
Yeah. Good name. I'm just dumb. Yeah, thanks for reaching out. We're recording this just a few days after, so if you did welcome us back and we did not shout you out, it's because you weren't fast enough. I'm sorry. We needed to be quicker with these things. But yeah, if you do welcome us back and you didn't get read out, we did see it. Thank you. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Any follow-ups from last episode? No? All right. Morgan, I got a quick 30 minutes into the show. Let's get into some random bullshit.
Okay.
I want to briefly talk about Princess Mononoke because I saw it in theaters. It was doing a little rerun. And we talked about this last night, actually, so I kind of ruined the podcast a little bit. Morgan, now that we're doing the podcast again, we got to stop all communication with one another outside of the podcast.
Oh.
We have to save everything for the podcast. Our friendship is content now, Morgan.
Damn it.
Do you understand? Anyway.
I guess.
I'm going to rehash.
Make me sign a waiver again?
Yes.
Okay.
NDA.
Okay.
So I talked to you about this briefly, but because one of the things that we discuss frequently whenever we bring up like anime and Japanese media is how women are handled. And
how
I'm
women
like,
are
Morgan,
handled.
Yeah, hey-o, I wouldn't mind handling a woman myself. Anyway, I feel like, we watch a lot of like shonen, I guess. So it's like, more boy focused, but I feel like Studio Ghibli movies are like a perfect example of like, you can just make content for people, human beings. But yeah, I feel like Studio Ghibli is like right up your alley for like a lot of reasons. And I'm curious, you claim to have only seen Howl's Moving Castle?
Yes. How's Moving Castle? How does it move?
How does Castle move? I don't know, why is this? We talked before. I think I made a joke before we were recording that everyone in your life recommends you things.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Morgan, I got Studio Ghibli movies. That feels so up your alley.
I know. Okay, have we talked about each other's contrarianism?
Yeah.
Quirks?
Well, let's rehash it. It's been a year.
Okay. Sure. So I would say we would both fit into the category of contrarians where if someone says you should do this, we're like,
I won't do this.
I don't want to now. Because you told me to, now I can't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like herding cats, where it's like if you really want a cat to go a certain way, the cat is suddenly determined to not go that way anymore. That is me with the literal multiple people in my life trying to herd me towards Ghibli movies. I'm like, but what if I ran over here instead and engaged with this thing that no one told me to? What if I ran over here and watched The Sopranos instead?
The Sopranos, yeah, I forgot we did talk about that. Yeah.
I was drawn to Howl's Moving Castle for I'm a romance girly. I do enjoy a fun romance. So I wanted to see how the romance played out. And I'm also like kind of an animation nerd. So I know that Ghibli is like,
is smooth.
Everything is a masterpiece.
With an F. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the characterization of the female lead?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, especially like in media, it's so rare for like an aged woman to be represented at all. And so for it to be the protagonist and like one of the leads in the romance and like, I don't know how like essentially falling in love with her like while she's in that state it's just kind of nice. I don't know. You don't see that often. So it's just kind of nice.
I didn't realize that the characters in that film were more aged. I just assumed that I assume every anime is like comprised of 16-year-olds and younger.
Oh, well, so just to clarify, so she's not actually, she gets like cursed, and the curse is it makes her like, it turns her into an old woman, and she doesn't stay as an old woman, but like, it is like, she has, like the old womanness does affect her condition and her ability to like do things, but she's still the protagonist. She's still active and like, I don't know. It's kind of confusing to explain, but if you saw it,
I will be watching it soon. Okay. I want to go through the Ghibli films that I haven't seen. I've only seen 5 at this point. I saw Nausicaa, Totoro, Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, and Princess Mononoke. Okay. I think Princess Mononoke is my favorite. It was my neighbor's favorite growing up. She was a big Ghibli head. She's also a big Dragon Ball Z head. Very funny thinking.
Well, everyone in that show has a big head, so
they do have very big heads. They have, yeah. But I just, yeah. I know you don't know how to spend your own time, so I'm just helping you by giving you recommendations.
Thank you.
That is such a, like, I work at a video production place, and I don't watch a lot of movies, and boy, does everyone want to help me with that by giving me movies to watch. Yeah. Like, thanks. I had no idea how to spend my time when I got home, so this is very helpful for me. Yeah, it's, I tell myself that I'm like, you know what? I don't like getting recommendations. I'm going to ease up on the recommendations I give other people. And then I don't. Like, I just don't. Yeah. I don't know. And Morgan, I don't know why. I feel like you're the easiest target to recommend things. I think we just all want you specifically to enjoy the things we enjoy. Don't know why that is. Is it because, okay, so here's the thing though. We've also talked about this where like our ability to obsess over things. I feel like if you get me hooked on something, I will snort that shit like crack cocaine. And then you get to benefit from, if you ever want to talk about that thing ever again, you can come talk to me about it, because then I will not shut the fuck up. It's because you're both passionate and you have a lot of critiques for things. So it's sort of like a test. It's like it's like, does this get past the Morgan test? Does Morgan like this? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Okay. Maybe it's because you're more reactive to things. It's like, yeah, you want to show that. Yeah. It's like if I was, if I never had any opinions on anything ever, I probably wouldn't be receiving a ton of recommendations. True. But you're an opinionated person, and maybe we're like, I want to hear your opinion on thing I like. And that's the thing. I'm sorry. Recommendations they do often come down to me like this thing. You like this thing too now. Thank you. Yeah. No, they kind of do. I will. I will admit to that. I was going to say, yeah, there are, I think, very few things I'm neutral on, I guess. Yeah. Like, it's either like, well, like Fourth Wing, I literally couldn't finish it because I was too fucking angry. My blood pressure was going up because I was so goddamn angry at this book.
Or it's like a couple of our friends, Zach and Ethan, recommended Fire Emblem Three Houses to me. I now have more hours in that game than possibly both of them combined.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Maybe that feedback is nice, or that level of reaction is nice. I don't know. I hadn't considered that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're reactive. It's like, yeah, I want to be the person who recommends you the game that you spend 500 hours in. Why? I don't know.
Sage is calling you like, what did you do? And meanwhile, I'm like snorting it in my office. I haven't come out for 3 days.
Yeah, you broke my wife.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to talk to her. Yeah. I mean, also, I don't know. It's like, we hear your opinions on things, and then we play games and interact with media and stuff, and it's like, ooh, Morgan talked about this. Maybe she'd like this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It makes sense.
Because I got like a short list of things, and I'm like, I think Morgan would like this. I do recognize that I have to give up because of the whole contrarian thing, but
yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to watch from a distance and hope I meander in the right direction, I guess. I don't know.
It's like I put it in the room, and I'm just like, I don't know, she might walk over there. Yeah. But back to Gibby movies.
Gibby movies?
Gibby movies. I'm putting it in the room.
Okay.
And maybe you'll walk over to it.
Maybe I will.
You know?
I might.
Because I don't know. I love the it feels like it doesn't fall into the shonen or shoujo like trappings of being so heavily targeted towards like young boys or young girls. It just feels like there's something for everybody. There's someone for everyone to like relate to, and the characters aren't like, it doesn't feel tropey like a lot of anime does necessarily. I don't know. It feels like sometimes I'm watching it, I'm like, this feels like something that Disney would try to make now, but it was being done like so decades ago.
Right.
Like Princess Mononoke has like this matriarchal kind of villain character whose motives are very understandable and whose people are like nice and admire her, but she is like working towards this goal that is in opposition to our protagonist. And at the end has like a, you know, it's like she's not like beheaded or something. It's like she's not defeated. She's like, I don't know, just given the opportunity to approach that whole situation differently. I don't know. It's like, I feel like that's kind of how Disney approaches villains now. I think that they don't like to have them be...
Slaughter them?
Yeah, or just like evil. That's their personality is not just evil.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's like, this lady's like, I don't know, I kind of like her. Like, she's like out here trying to take care of all of her people and stuff. And it's like, motivations, easily understandable. Also a cool character. I don't know. It's also, everyone has like a lot of agency regardless of like being a young boy or young girl. And it's like, it's kind of cool. Again, hey, it's in the room.
I'm eyeballing it.
You're eyeballing it.
I might.
Something new has entered the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't dangle it in front of you. It's going to freak you out.
So I guess, speaking of animated movies, I think the most recent, I don't even want to call it Ghibli-esque because you know what? Speaking of me having strong opinions about things, Sage and I watched, what's it called? War of the Rohirrim? If I'm mispronouncing that, sorry. It's a animated movie about like 2 lines of lore that Tolkien wrote in one of his that he had in his notes somewhere. I don't remember specifically where. Except so they extrapolated this whole plot of this movie based on these 2 lines of lore. And so it's set in like the Lord of the Rings universe, like way before Lord of the Rings ever happened, and probably way before The Hobbit ever happened. And I thought it was poo-poo.
Oh.
I did not like it.
I was really hoping you'd be like, this is great, because I'm looking at screenshots right now. I'm like, oh,
it's
this
beautiful.
Is kind of cool.
I think
is it 3D?
No.
Okay, I was looking at screenshots and I couldn't quite tell.
It might have like some 3D elements in it.
Right.
What I said in, I think, our Discord chat was I said, I have never seen something so beautiful that made me feel so little of anything.
That sucks.
It was just like there was no, like, you know how you're talking about like Ghibli characters, they have like kind of like a substance to them, where even like the evil ones, you kind of like can at least understand where they're coming from, or, you know, want to see them improve or whatever. This one, everyone is so flat and boring and bad. And there's like lines and things that should feel like we watched the English version or the English dub or whatever, so maybe it's better in Japanese, but the line delivery was so flat.
Is it not like primary language English?
I don't know. I'm assuming it was originally in Japanese and we saw a dub, but I don't know. Because I thought it was done by like a Japanese studio, because it definitely has like an anime style to it.
Oh yeah.
But it was like I'm even like right now struggling to recall like basic plot elements. Like there's like a climax of the movie. So the whole thing about the like the main character, she's a woman from Rohirrim or whatever, Rohan, who is the king's daughter, and I think she might be the youngest sibling. I don't know. She has some brothers. And her thing is like, well, I don't want to be bound to any man. And she says that like, I don't know, maybe twice. And there's like a female servant, steward, warrior, shield maiden lady who's around, and they have like a bond, and it seems like their bond is supposed to be the most important relationship in the movie, but it didn't make me feel anything. I felt nothing. I didn't like watching the characters like struggle and like fight these like miserable, impossible odds. I was like, I don't care. And like their kingdom gets sacked and they get like chased away, and some of the royal family gets executed, and I'm like, why should I give a shit? There's no, it was terrible in my opinion. But
that sucks because it looks very nice.
Yeah. And like the annoying thing about it is because it's set in like Middle Earth, they kept doing this thing where they would reference or like have callbacks to things from Lord of the Rings or whatever. And then it was like, I could like feel the writers breathing down my neck a little bit of like, see, we referenced that trilogy that everybody loves so much. Doesn't this make you feel something? We referenced Eowyn. You like Eowyn, right? You know, Gandalf. We mentioned Gandalf by name. Are you excited?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
I like Gandalf. Yeah.
It's like, do you think I'm like a baby? You could just jangle keys in front of me and I'll clap for you? No. You have to have substance. I need substance. Anyway.
Remember Blanky? Oh, I love Blanky, yes.
I like Blanky, yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was bad. So maybe I will watch Princess Mononoke, because that sounds like it does have substance.
I legitimately am like, I said this yesterday, but I'm like, I wish I could go back in time and be like, hey, Kid Morgan, here you go. Check this out. And you would have probably said, why is this old bald man who claims to be my friend talking to me? And after I'm being like processed by the police and questioned and stuff, hopefully you pick up that DVD that I left of Princess Mononoke, throw it in and be like, oh yeah, he was right. That's right. It turns out he was a nice man.
Or I would do the thing where I do and be like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that right now. And then I would go back to reading Warrior Cats because...
if you were into Warrior Cats at the time, you would have seen Wolf Girl and been like, oh, I want to be Wolf Girl.
Okay. That's fair.
You would have seen this, you know, this girl riding on a wolf, like this bright white, like demon, basically, just tearing it up out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, yeah.
I also like Inuyasha, which Inuyasha has like wolf and like dog stuff, demons too. So actually, maybe I would really like it.
Oh yeah, you would. You get one of the first scenes with this character is her like just sucking blood out of the wound of a wolf, and it's like gross and nasty.
Yes.
And she just doesn't give a shit.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, this is Morgan core right here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Excellent.
So, yeah, give it. It's kind of interesting that like with Ghibli films, they can be like, they span like the full range of like maturity. Not full range. They don't go straight up to like, hey now.
Hey now. Whoa.
But yeah, it's like, this is pretty violent. Like people are getting decapitated, limbs flying off and stuff. But then they also have like My Neighbor Totoro, which is for like not infants, but it's like a very calm story for children. So it's interesting it's like a little bit of whiplash to go from the different films, but yeah, it's good. I recommend it. Yeah, if you watch Princess Mononoke, let me know.
Okay. There will be a wall of text that will show up in Discord. One way or the other.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I tacked this on. It might not be a mini rant. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're 50 minutes into the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Actually, you want this. Everyone wants long episodes. You're welcome.
Everyone is cheering.
Yeah, everyone's cheering. Yeah, please. Tell me more about your dehumidifier. Yeah. So I tacked this on because the Ghibli like treatment of women in their stories kind of brings this to mind, but fan service, Morgan. I started by accident watching a show that your husband Sage explicitly unrecommended,
yes,
and disrecommended, and I couldn't quite remember that he disrecommended it. So in my head, I'm like, I saw it's Fire Force.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like a Crunchyroll ad because I think there's a new season. And I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, Sage said this was really good, I think. But in reality, he said, this is really bad. But in my head, I was like, oh, Sage says it's really good. You know what? Maybe I'll check it out. And immediately I'm like hit with like a weird amount of fan service. And it's like, that's weird. Why'd Sage recommend this? But yeah, the whole fan service thing, Morgan, you are familiar with Japan.
Well, I guess. I mean, out of the two of us, I'm probably the most familiar, yes.
Japan expert Morgan.
Oh no, don't put that label on me, please.
Do you have any insight? Have we talked about this before? About like, because I'm like Japanese culture, my perception of it, very civilized, very polite, like nowhere near the level of like hypersexuality that I feel like American culture has going on. I know, but at the same time, I'm like, why is like fan service so like normal?
Right. I have a couple theories. Theory number one. This sort of thing tends to happen, I think, most often in shonen, which is for teenage boys who are little horn dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to grab a teenage boy's attention and hold it, you gotta put a big pair of Hondonkaroos on screen, I guess, or on the page. I don't know. But that's a weird thing. Okay. So we also both started reading Kowloon Generic Romance.
Yes.
Which is a manga that's getting an anime adaptation.
Did that come out yet?
I
feel like I saw something.
I saw a trailer for it, I thought. Or like an announcement.
I'll look into it.
But so the thing that surprised me about Kowloon Generic Romance is it is...
First episode's on Crunchyroll, sorry.
Okay. It is within the category of like it's for adult women, or it's like an adult romance.
Mm-hmm.
But there are panels in the manga that make the woman look so sweaty, and her clothes are like sticking to her a lot and really showing off like the shape of her body.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens like fairly often. And like, I think there was I don't know if you got to this chapter, but there was a chapter where she was like painting a room, like one of the apartments.
Yeah.
And she got like paint on herself, and it was supposed to look like something else. I guess.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, as a woman, at least, I'm like, who is this? This isn't
a
for
straight
me.
Woman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's a good clarification. As a straight woman, I'm like, well, I don't think this is for me, is it? Because like. Right. I don't know. And then we kind of talked about how it's like, okay, is it meant to be aspirational or like a fantasy of like, oh, I wish I was this hot, and like the differences between depicting someone as attractive in a way that it's aspirational versus you're supposed to ogle them. I don't know. I can't tell what it's trying to do or what the point is, because like I don't remember. I mean, there's definitely like things that are supposed to make the guy look hot, but like not quite like that. I don't think.
Yeah, not at all to the same extent, I'd say.
Right. I don't think so. So it's definitely, I would say, like kind of normalized, and I don't really know why. And then my other part of the theory was not necessarily about, you know, their society and culture as a whole, but the I think the lifestyle of an artist and potentially of a mangaka, if I'm saying that right, is kind of isolating, because it's like you probably have this super strict schedule and you're supposed to output so many pages. And so I kind of wonder if in the course of that isolation, like you're unable to like, if like work is so demanding, and you're unable to form these like real life relationships that meet those needs, I guess. So
Okay.
I kind of wonder if like because of that those desires and those feelings just kind of seep through in the art, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying this is someone who creates art. Have you ever created a perfect boyfriend?
No.
Okay.
Because I thrive in my art. I thrive off of like the conflict, and I guess like the drama, and like the like I don't want. I'm not a I guess a big fan of cozy media.
I just scrolled through to like find the specific panel, and looking at it again, I'm like, all right, that's a bit more exaggerated than I remember.
Yeah. Oh, of the one with her with paint on herself or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh.
She's like all sweaty, and there's like certain areas that are got some detail.
That outfit she's got on is probably very form-fitting, if I had to guess.
Yeah, what's still remaining of the outfit is very form-fitting.
What's still remaining?
What's still remaining?
Oh, jeez.
It's also followed by like a scene of her like fainting in him, like kind of holding her, and that's also like a full page.
I don't remember if that was a hallucination or not, or if he actually was there to catch her, or if it was like a fantasy playing out in her head. I don't know.
We gotta talk more about this series eventually. How far are you?
Oh, I'm in the second volume. Well, because remember you were like, he kissed her without permission. What the heck? And I said, oh, read the next chapter and it'll explain like kind of why that happened. And then I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm in somewhere in the volume 2. I met the weird doctor. Random bullshit over unless you want to say anything.
Nope, that's all I got.
Morgan, tell me about the game we're covering. Give me a little bit of background info.
Okay, so this is our episode for Spyro the Dragon. There's 2 versions of Spyro the Dragon that are going to be up for discussion today. The original version was released by Insomniac Games on September 9th, 1998. The rights to Spyro were eventually acquired by Activision during a merger with Vivendi in 2008, and Vivendi was originally known as Universal Active, which was the original producer of Insomniac's release of Spyro. The remake, now known as the Reignited Trilogy, was contemplated as early as July 2014 during an interview with a Sony executive. And then on November 13th, 2018, Toys for Bob released the Reignited Trilogy on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And then the game received a later release to PC and Switch on September 3rd, 2019. Only the first 3 Spyro games were actually developed by Insomniac. So after the 3rd Spyro game, the franchise kind of endured a series of sequels, reboots, and reimaginings until the Reignited Trilogy came along and presented a solid return to form. The original release of Spyro the Dragon sold approximately 4.8 million units as of November 2007, which I thought was a really fascinating cutoff year. I don't know why it's 2007.
2007, yeah. That seems late. But also, that's a very high-selling PS2 game. Or PS1 game, I mean.
Yeah, so according to the Los Angeles Times, who I think was doing that research possibly in 2011, Spyro the Dragon is considered the 17th best-selling PlayStation game of all time. Yeah,
that's big numbers for that time. So
yeah, for sure.
I assume you had this growing up, right?
Oh yes, Spyro was like one of the first video games I was ever like exposed to or interacted with. Spyro and Crash were the video games that got me hooked on video games in general.
Do you know if we've had any other Spyro games since the Reignited trilogy?
No, we have not. I have heard murmurings of Spyro 4 being in development by Toys for Bob. Yeah,
I don't know like what the like rumored status of that project is.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think that. I know that Activision, Microsoft might have helped or hurt. I don't really know the whole situation, but yeah, I don't think that whenever it was when Activision was not merged, I don't think that they were very happy with the performance that they were getting from Toys for Bob with Crash 4, maybe? Because I feel like that they got relegated to Call of Duty support. I think we discussed this actually.
Yeah, no, I heard that, but then after that I heard, they're working on Spyro 4.
Yeah, coming back. I think that some people might have left at this point because it has been a while, so we will, we'll see. The Toys for Bob that made the Reignited trilogy, though, immaculate. So
yes.
Yeah. And Crash 4, also very good, very well received as well. Just maybe not Call of Duty numbers. I think we talked about this on the Crash Wrath of Cortex podcast a little bit. I think we talked about Toys for Bob there. So
okay.
Because I'm like getting deja vu right now of talking about Toys for Bob while having this microphone in front of my face. Yeah.
Well, I also went back and I listened to our Spyro Enter the Dragonfly episode just to make sure we didn't rehash too much.
Or it could have been I forgot we did a Spyro game. Yeah.
We did. Yes. I mean, we probably discussed it both times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it did come up then as well. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
That makes sense. I hope we see that Spyro 4. That'd be nice.
Same.
Let's get into our personal history with the game. I played this game multiple times, not as much as Morgan, but I've done a 100% run on the remaster. And I believe I discussed that during an earlier episode of the podcast. I think that was when Claire had COVID for the first time and I was like relegated to the basement. I just played like the PS5 and I played all of Spyro. I don't know how long it took me. I probably played it for like a total of 10 hours, which is maybe a longer end for like a 100% run. But that was just kind of me going at my own pace. So yeah, and I've played it, a handful of other times, just like, I don't know, like test and shit. Like whenever I modded my PSP, I was like, yeah, let me test like a PS1 game, and I played Spyro. It's like, it's just kind of an easy go-to. Do you want to bring this up now because you have like a response to it? I'll just bring it up. We've talked about this before. We did in college. Me and Morgan went to the same college. We did a bad speed run of the first Spyro game whenever the Reignited trilogy came out. It's been a long time. We posted that on a channel that has since been unlisted.
Yes.
Our videos have since been unlisted. And I remember mentioning it before, and we'd got like a comment that was like, oh, I'd love to see that, or something like that. Like, I'd love to see the old stuff. And we were like, sorry, no old stuff. Did she fart?
No, I don't know. She just flinches and gets scared, and I'm going to see if Sage will come get her.
But yeah, we did like this fun, like entire playthrough, me and Morgan, like a co-op bad speed run. No real prep, no real route. We just kind of aimlessly played through the game in a single sitting. I don't know if you can call it a speed run at that point, but we like had pizza delivered during the middle of it. I threw it in the Google Doc that I'm like, hey Morgan, just like an idea that I had. I was like, do you want to like re-upload this? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, and I said, okay, but what if instead of re-uploading the Reignited trilogy run through, we just did a re-recording with OG Spyro and put it on Analog Stick as a bonus for people who are excited for us to come back. So whoever wants to go check out the YouTube channel, and then there's the bonus of just having the Spyro playthrough right there as well, just for funsies. Because I know we floated that idea before we took our hiatus as well.
I will say I like this idea.
Okay.
And I do like the idea of maybe finding ways to just do slightly more than once a month content when we can find ways to do it that aren't overly demanding. And I do like how, similar to our podcast where we cover an entire game, we dedicate one game to one episode, I do like the idea of maybe doing a video where it's like we dedicate one video to one game and it's like we play through the entire thing. And Spyro being shorter, it's like, yeah, that's doable. It could be like kind of lightly edited. So yeah, I do like this idea. There's actually a couple games that we've already played that I'm like, those are all pretty short. Another game that starts with an S.
Tulip.
Scalar. No, I mean Sly One.
Sly One. Oh yeah. That would be so much fun. I would love to do that.
But yeah, I like this idea. I'm going to continue to talk to you about this.
Okay.
Sorry, someone tried to crash through my wall there.
Oh my god.
I like this idea. Sorry, just keep it going.
I like it too.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Maybe we'll get something going. Anyway, yeah. What's your history with old Spyro?
Yeah. So in addition to Spyro being one of the games that got me into gaming, because I think I mentioned in the Enter the Dragonfly episode that I was a dinosaur kid, and so dragons are adjacent to dinosaurs, so the transition, it was just natural that I would go that way. So I also played the Legend of Spyro trilogy, well, 2 of the games, and then A Hero's Tale. I remember picking that up from GameStop, but like the change in like the style and the tone and like the mechanics in A Hero's Tale threw me off really bad, so I never actually beat that one. But yeah, OG Spyro has always been one of my special boys. And actually, now that I think about it, Insomniac had like a huge hand in my childhood development because after Spyro, like the next big thing for me was Ratchet and Clank, which is also Insomniac. So they shaped me as a person, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, also Ratchet and Clank, big hitters. And
Infamous. No, that was Sucker Punch. What am I saying?
I know. It's Infamous, or not Infamous. Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog do kind of, I think for a lot of people, just kind of be like, yeah, that's the Sony people. You kind of mix them up.
Right.
It's understandable. For this episode, in preparation, I didn't go through and do a 100% playthrough again. Did a casual cruise through it yesterday. Just want to set the scene for how enjoyable this was. I was very hyped about my situation for enjoying this game. We are currently experiencing, I don't know, we live like 2 hours apart, so I don't know if you were also getting heavy rain at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was like heavy rain the entire day on a Saturday. 0 plans. My wife was completely occupied with one of her friends, so they were doing their own thing. And it's just like, I have no plans at the moment. I had just gotten back from eating. Like, we went out to eat with them, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to fuck off and do my own thing for a little bit. I had the lights down low. All right, nice ambient lighting. No overhead lights. I'm sitting there in my beanbag chair with my big old 27-incher Panasonic CRT. I got those.
I'm glad you clarified what you were talking about there.
Hey, now. 27 inches. Anyway.
Oh my God, yeah.
What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, I got this big old, I don't know if I talked about it. I don't know if I would have had a chance to talk about it during the podcast, but I got a new big CRT. I gave up my big CRT before, now I got a new one.
Yes.
Do I have a problem? My wife loves me very much, so I get away with these things. Like having 3 CRTs in our tiny ass apartment. 2 of them are very small though. It's okay. I don't need a lot. I'm a small little minimalist guy. I don't have nearly every video game console hooked up and plugged in and ready to be turned on and played at any time. I don't have any of that. Anyway, got this big old CRT. I'm in my beanbag, heavy rain. Got the lights down low. Got a blanket. Playing on the PS3 through a nice little S-Video hookup. Very good.
Sounds like the dream.
I know. I had done enough, and I didn't have enough going on that I didn't have like my adult brain being like, but what about like taxes and responsibilities? Have you thought about those things?
The bills? Have you paid the bills?
Bills are paid, brain. Don't worry. What about that other thing? Oh shit, you're right. Let's not talk about that though.
Okay.
So I was just there. 3 or 4 hours, completed the entire thing. It's a good time. My ass was in pain.
Oh.
Beanbag, not the most comfortable for prolonged gaming sessions.
Not enough support, I guess.
Not TMI, but yeah, my ass was... My ass was in a sling after that. Also, I said on sometimes whenever we we have like a doc that we prepare for like each episode where we kind of outline the show, stay organized, keep all of our thoughts in one places. We have like how did you prepare for the episode segment? I often write down what I did before I do it. So it's like, yeah, I went ahead and I played, this because I like have a plan of how much I'm going to play. I wrote down on here that I hopped back into the remake to refresh myself on the differences. I didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
I'm deleting that.
Okay. Bam, gone. Never happened.
So that didn't happen. Didn't refresh myself. I forgot. I downloaded it though, and that's what matters. But yeah, Morgan, what'd you do?
So I did a 120% run of the original PS1 version, and I did an incomplete run of the Reignited trilogy. Unlike you, I did hop back in there to remind myself of the differences.
Yeah. You are carrying this episode. I'll admit it.
Okay. But yeah, I didn't beat it. I got to, where did I get to? Haunted Towers. Haunted Tower? Something like that.
Plural.
In the Dreamweaver's world. Spyro fans, you know what I'm talking about with the big suits of armor. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Very good level.
But yeah, basically I did the revisit of the Reignited trilogy. I mean, like I'm gonna be honest. I play Spyro pretty regularly.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful shut your brain off game.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, I wanted to make sure because Neko Sloan 5 specifically requested that they wanted to know my opinions on the different versions. So I did that for them. Shout
out. You're welcome. Yeah. Give us any. Just leave a comment and we'll do whatever.
Well, within reason.
Within reason.
Kill yourself. Oh shit. Guess I gotta leave. Oh no.
Yep. All right, Morgan. First of all, I read. Okay, I'll get to it in a second. We got some very important questions. Everybody's favorite segment. All right, Morgan. Scalies or furries. You can only save one.
Save them from what?
I mean, like, I feel like the question implies like a very imminent demise.
Oh no.
Of some sort. Maybe you're holding both of them in each hand, like a chain, like a monkey chain thing situation where you're holding all the furries in one hand, all the scalies in the other hand, and they're just kind of dangling over like a pit of sharks. And you're like, I'm sorry, I can only save one of these fandoms.
You're trolley probleming me.
Yeah, trolley problem. Yeah, that's another way. That's maybe that's a more conventional way of laying this out.
Okay. I feel like, statistically speaking, this probably is not what you meant by this question, but statistically speaking, I feel like the furry community is larger than the scaly community. So I'm thinking about the number of bodies tied down on the tracks.
Right. Yeah,
that's how I'm calculating this.
That seems fair.
So I think I'm going to pick furries.
Okay, try to save as many lives as you can. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just playing a numbers game, nothing personnel.
Yeah, we're not concerned with like, who these people are.
Also, here's the thing. I don't know if you know this. There is a strange, maybe not strange, but there is a significant overlap in people who are doing critical work in engineering, in IT, in fields that help the world go round, and a not insignificant number of them are furries.
Yeah, well,
and
you're looking out for your own ass
encountered.
Here. Okay, I see how it is.
I've encountered some in my line of work.
Yeah,
and they've always been the furry variety, not the scaly variety.
Right.
So again, I feel like that for my friends, for my beloved coworkers who I actually know, they're going to be on the furry side of the tracks. So I'm also going to pick the furries.
Okay. Yeah, furries are more accepted now. Yeah, they're
and scalies aren't.
No, they still have a bit of an uphill battle to go. Maybe they should form their own sort of like LGBTQ. Like, hey, just saying, throwing that out there. We know you're listening.
Yeah. And I think there's also some overlap between furries, LGBT, and neurodivergent communities.
Yep,
there's a lot of overlap that goes on there.
A lot of Venn diagramming going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like furries, I surprisingly, I think someone. And yeah, I see the overlap that you're talking about, but
Yeah.
More accepted now. Maybe.
For sure.
Maybe. We'll see.
I think so.
I mean, definitely more accepted than like Salem witch trial days. I mean, you would have been fucking.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine? You put a furry in front of one of those motherfuckers, they wouldn't know what to do. They'd probably know what to do, but
well,
they would know what I know what they would do. Not saying
yeah.
It's
not the right thing to do, but they would do it. They would come to they would be very fast on the draw.
They would decide what to do very quickly.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like it's so accepted. It's kind of I have like a joke that I'm formulating here.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm trying to like figure it out, but I'm like, I feel like the 2025 version of like the trope of like nerdy girl takes off her glasses and is actually, super hot or something is like furry girl takes off her mask and is actually very hot or something. Just throwing that out there for any like movie execs who want to have like a little joke.
I was going to say, have we seen furries represented in film at
that
all
would be
recently?
I would dead ass be so into it's just a group of characters. One of them is in a fursuit the entire film and it is not acknowledged one time. It is not just one of them they are a furry. Everyone's cool with it.
Okay. It's a different okay, what I'm thinking of is a slightly different thing. What's the thing? Turning Red, Seeing Red. What's that movie called?
Right, Turning Red, yes.
Turning Red.
The period movie.
But that's different because it's not someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm a furry. It's like I turn into this against my will.
Right.
Like,
that's usually what it is.
Yeah, being a furry, you choose to put on the fursuit.
No, I want someone who chose to put on the
maybe
suit.
you don't choose the interest or the desire to do that, but you do go commission the fursuit and then go and put it on.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, furry representation in movies. Got it. I would love if there was like a teen coming of age movie or something and it's like a comedy, but also one of them is just a furry. Yeah. You said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they get to be outside the suit every once in a while, but like, I would love that. I would love to see that actually.
Or maybe like an episode of or a season of The Bachelor where one of them is just a furry. Again, not acknowledged. I
think it's going to be acknowledged.
They're probably that whole show is about acknowledging things, actually. So.
Because not everybody is as accepting as we are. Yeah. There's still some assholes out there.
We are probably the most accepting people I know. Anyway, so my answer to this question is I'm going to find a way to take both of them out.
Shut.
I'm kidding.
Hey.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. I would say the Scalies. They seem more dedicated. Like I bet there's a bunch of casual furries out there. Scalies, you gotta want it.
Okay.
You gotta want that shit.
More than paying thousands of dollars for a fursuit?
Yeah, that's child's pocket change.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, Scalies also like. Never mind. I don't have anywhere reasonable to go with this. So I'm just gonna stop.
Moria, we need to find a way to like hide your responses to some of these questions because I was in a coffee shop this morning and I was fucking dying to your response to some of these questions. In a way that I'm like, I wish I would have just had a more genuine reaction to this joke on the podcast. Anyway, my next question is Spyro 4 or World Peace?
Okay, see, in my prep for this episode, I listened to the Enter the Dragonfly episode in which you asked me the same literal goddamn question. Okay.
I didn't do it on purpose.
I know we have this thing about finding balance in the universe by one of us answering one way for one question, then, switching sides or whatever. Mm-hmm. So last time I said world peace. God damn it, I can't not pick world peace, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Now that you're saying this, I had like a joke preloaded, which was, I knew you were going to pick world peace, and I was going to bring up like, what if Spyro 4 brings world peace? And I'm like,
you literally made that joke.
I made that joke.
You literally made that joke.
I'm an old man, I guess. When I edit the podcasts, sometimes I take a break. So it's like, I don't like finish recording and jump into editing it. That's a little too much.
Right.
So I might take a week and then, next week I'll edit it or something. But I often, I hear myself setting up my own jokes, and I hear myself thinking of jokes as you're talking. I'm like, oh, she said this, I should say this. And then I do it, and then I laugh. It is so, it's so lame. It's very lame. Anyway.
No, I do a similar thing where I don't listen to every episode back, and I let multiple months pass so that I kind of forget what we even talked about. But I'll go back and I'll listen to episodes. And there are times where we make a joke and then I laugh, and not only do I laugh in the same places, it's the same exact tone and type of laugh.
This is so lame, Morgan. We're so lame. I do the same thing.
We're so predictable. We're just meat. We're just meat driven by electrical impulses in the meat.
Yeah.
We're just walking, talking algorithms, I think. I don't think free will is a thing.
It's been almost 2 years since the Spyro episode, so I'm glad I made the same question, same joke.
2 years.
Haven't changed at all.
You have not changed a bit, and I guess neither have I. Because I couldn't not say world peace.
Yeah, and I couldn't not say Spyro world peace. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I remember writing that and being like, and didn't think further about it, so I'm glad you called it out. Yeah, so follow-up question. If you were a dragon, what element would you pull your energy from? All the dragons, okay. I think it's implied that dragons are elemental creatures. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know. So, according to the Legend of Spyro series, yes.
Okay.
In the Legend of Spyro, you have fire, earth, lightning, ice.
That sounds right.
So we're kind of doing Last Airbender.
Yeah.
There.
Last Airbender rules.
In Spyro the Dragon, you have artisans, peacekeepers, magic crafters, beast makers, dream weavers, and then Nasty World. Nasty World.
Nasty World, yeah.
So it's and I guess it's kind of assumed. I mean, Spyro is the only one you see breathe fire, so maybe they breathe the other elements in the other sections of the Dragon Realms. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's more like a career choice or a vibe than an element, I guess.
Okay.
So what would I be? I feel like I'm kind of following Avatar: Last Airbender rules. I feel like I'm a firebender. Okay. I'm a little bit too feisty.
That checks out.
So I'm probably going to be your default fire-breathing dragon.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of vibes, I would probably fit in the best with the artisans. Because, at least in the Reignited trilogy, they're all dressed up like different types of artistes. Mm-hmm. You have painters, you have sculptors, bakers, anything like that. So I would probably fit in best with them, I think.
Okay. I feel that. I'm going to go earth. Whatever that means. Maybe I spit out mud.
Boulders.
Boulders. I shoot boulders out of my throat. And beast makers. I mean, the swamp people.
You're with the swamp boys?
Yeah, me and the swamp boys. Me and the dirty boys. We're out here earthing it up.
Yeah.
So I feel that. Okay, follow-up question, Morgan. In the creation of your dragon Sona, how are you differentiating yourself from other dragons? What's kind of the visual trademark of your dragon?
I got 2 words for you.
Oh,
big tits.
Yeah, I saw that. That Morgan, I read that at the coffee shop and it murdered me.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
Me. Big tits on the dragon.
Okay, so here's the thing though. In Spyro, we don't get to see. There's no female dragons.
We don't get to see tits. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
that's why.
And someone
8 out of 10. Yeah. No
someone
tits.
asked someone on the development team or I don't remember, but the reasoning they had for why they didn't have female dragons was they couldn't figure out how to model them. Big tits.
Mm-hmm. The PS2, the PS1
took up too many polygons for those titties. And also like they had a limited voice actor cast that they could probably like afford, and all the cast was men. So
Okay.
it's like, well, we don't have any female voice actors to do the female dragons. But no, like in all seriousness, I would probably have, I just wear like hoodies, man. I don't know. I would probably be a really lame looking dragon with like a hoodie and a notebook / sketch pad that is there's stray bits of paper flying out everywhere I go. I like turn and there's like just fluttering paper following me everywhere because I'm horribly disorganized.
Okay.
And I write and I draw. So both of those things could be done on the sketch pad. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. I didn't think about this until right now. I like to ask questions without thinking about what I'm going to say. But I think my character design would be, I'd be slightly overweight. I'd be a slightly overweight dragon.
Hell yeah.
I think Cletus also has like a big belly. I want to be like my boy, Cletus.
Okay.
I want to have overalls with no like
Oh, that's wonderful.
no undershirt type situation going on. I don't know if any dragons have hair, but I want hair. But I specifically want to have male pattern baldness. So
Okay.
I want to have like, the monkey butt type ring around the head, bald on top, hair on the sides. And I want to have like a little like box of popcorn, but I want it to be rocks. And I'm just munching on rocks because I'm an earth dragon.
Oh, okay, right, because you're an earth dragon.
And I spit out boulders.
Okay.
And I have
Are you turning those rocks into boulders?
I think it's implied that, I eat the rocks and then I use them. I spit them out.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of reminds me of like eating like sunflower seeds.
Exactly.
And you spit out the what's it called? The husks. The
gross
shells.
That's
the word I'm looking for. Shells.
What were we doing in baseball? Eating sunflower seeds. Food exists. What are we doing? Why were sunflower seeds the go-to?
Well, because how much nutrients do you think is in a single sunflower seed?
Oh, fucking
maybe
can't. Half a calorie? I don't know.
Because if you were in there chowing down on burgers the whole game, we'd run into problems. It has to be something inconsequential. You're
right. So it's like you're starving these kids for performance reasons.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, you can have this pretend food. It's play food.
Right. Just keep you occupied.
Surprisingly nutrient. By the way. Looking into it. Okay. What but I have to eat like a cup of them. What the fuck? Anyway.
You have to. You can't elect to do this. You have to, or else you get kicked off the roster.
Morgan, did you play softball?
No.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I did in gym when they like made us.
Wait,
I was a basketball kid.
Was that like an extracurricular basketball? Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, I kind of thought I knew that.
I might have mentioned it before, yeah. It was a church thing.
Oh,
church thing.
One of them church legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Our like church had like a softball league against other churches when I was a kid. So we'd go to these softball games, and I remember them being surprisingly intense. And now that I'm an adult, I am so eager for something like this to exist again.
Is that why pickleball called to you?
Yeah, the pickleball. I was like, I want some of this. I want some of this, recreational sports as an adult action.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, hour and 30 minutes. Oh, we're already into the game though. So, Morgan, let's discuss the world of Spyro the Dragon.
Okay.
I do think it's interesting how a lot of games that were made for like the PS1, PS2 maybe, and earlier, they kind of just they're so gameplay first focused that the world, it feels like an afterthought, but it definitely resonates with a lot of people. And Spyro the Dragon's kind of like that. Like, it's kind of fun how there's like a cutscene at the beginning that is so quick. It's like, dragons, gotta get save dragons, go. And Spyro's like, I got some work to do. And then you just go. And it's very quick. There's not like a lot of world building, but as you mentioned, there is like this kind of like premise of like, hey, there's these different home worlds that have different themes. There's different dragons that have different names and personalities. There's like a visual aesthetic to each world and stuff. So there's like some stuff there to chew on if you're interested. And I'm curious, Morgan, do you give a shit? Or is it more just like, I like Spyro to play it, or I'm like kind of interested in like the lore?
In the world?
Are you interested in the lore?
I am interested in the lore.
Can't help it.
But
I see.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, if it's not fleshed out enough for me to really like be like, what's in there? Because it's like, okay, if you look at the levels are designed to be like, you know how some games like are designed to be at least semi-realistic, like Assassin's Creed, like it's supposed to be some approximation of like a real town or whatever, because it's to make it more immersive or whatever. Spyro, it's like, this is definitely a video game level. This is all it's supposed to be, is a video game level.
Right.
So it's like, there's not really much to like, not much to chew on in there. Too terribly much. My cat is scratching the shit out of my office's door right now. That's
got a crazy episode right now.
I know. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, if there's something there, I'm down. I don't know, but there's kind of like not. Do you think that this game would be deserved by adding more, or like is it appropriate that it's just like, you know, gameplay? I think it's kind of appropriate for what it is. I feel like if you tried to fit more lore dumps into each interaction with the dragons, it would bog it down too much. We're just here to collect things. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that. I
do kind of wonder if you could do it in a non-obtrusive way. Like, let's say maybe you complete a world and you have like a little entry that's like, hey, this is the place where they make all the, I don't know, fucking dragon eggs. That implies that they just have mad sex there, actually. That's kind of weird.
Wow.
But I had like some...
How do I get in there?
It's like, hey, this is where we have our dragon barbecues or something like that. Some bullshit. It's like, here's where we have our, you know, biannual dragon picnic where we compare... I don't know, compare who can, I don't know, fucking shoot fire the furthest or some shit like that.
Right.
I could see that being like a fun, like, hey, I completed this thing and I get a little something for it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, hey, you have to sit through and listen to a dragon talk about something.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if it's needed. Like I don't know who's clamoring for it though. So yeah.
Right. I was going to say Spyro 2 kind of made an attempt at like, oh yeah, there's more to the world than it just being, you know, like video game levels, because there's some sort of politics going on with whatever Ripto is trying to do.
Right.
And between like Ripto and Moneybags, and Moneybags means that there's an economy of some kind because he wants the gems for some reason.
Yeah. What's he spending those on?
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's also the Dragon Shores, which is the dragon vacation area. So it's like, well, and then, I think there's like in the guidebook in Spyro 2, there's like little tidbits where it's like, there's like an epilogue or something for some of the characters where it's like, oh yeah, after the events of the game, this character went and did this and hung out in this realm and blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, the world feels more alive then. And I think that's so much fun. I love that. But Spyro 1 does not really have that.
Yeah. So like a level that is achieved later in the series is kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Okay. What's your favorite homeworld, by the way? I think you said Artisan, but...
Well, I think I identify with Artisans the most, just like how I am in real life.
Yeah.
But my favorite homeworld is Dreamweavers.
Oh, yeah. It's intense.
Because it's zany. It's zany, it's fun, it's intense. There's like super dark levels, but super bright and colorful levels. And I like that contrast and the creativity.
Yeah, I agree. Does that chug on like original hardware, or how'd you play this again? You played it on an emulator?
Yeah, but I've played it on PS1 and no, it didn't.
Okay. I played it on PS3 and it was like kind of chugging whenever I was staring at a lot of stuff in the homeworld. So I didn't know if that was like a authentic experience, but yeah.
No, not that I ever noticed.
I really like the Magic Caster homeworld. The where there's A couple egg boys running around. There's that's
mountains.
Is that the first time you see like the supercharge ramps?
It is.
Yeah, like those.
Yes.
Fun. Yeah, kind of like how it's a little snowy. I like the dudes who just make the earth go up and down.
Oh, the druids.
Yeah, the druids.
Yes.
They're cool. So I think that's my favorite. What about actual realms or levels? And this, I guess, can be from. You can answer this from like a gameplay perspective if you want, but I more so mean like aesthetically, maybe.
Okay.
Like maybe all encompassing. Like
this is hard. Okay, so I like treetops.
I know that's the thing. As I want to say, treetops answer to everything.
Right. Because the supercharged challenge aspect of that is so like crazy to figure out like your first time through. It took me years. It took me actual years of my life to figure out what the proper route through that level for some of those gems were. But I also like from an aesthetic point, treetops is also really good aesthetically speaking.
I know, that's the thing. Yeah.
Those like, okay, question. What the hell are those enemies supposed to be? Are they monkeys?
They're monkeys, aren't they?
I don't know, because they don't, in the original, they don't really look like monkeys.
Yeah.
They just look crazy.
Because you have little guy who throws something.
Bananas.
They throw That's probably
bananas.
why I think monkey. But then you have big guy with big arms.
Funny circle on top of their heads, and they have like an arrow through it, and it's like
it's like a straw hat type thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't. I could never figure it out. But then like the big ones, and they got little legs. They're like Mugshot from Sly.
Yeah.
And so I could never quite tell what they were supposed to be. But anyway, aesthetically, yeah, Treetops is up there. I also like Lofty Castle, Dark Passage, and Jacques. I love Jacques. And those last three were in Dreamweavers.
Yeah, Dreamweavers has like a lot of bangers. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a very fun like last romp.
So kind of going off of what you said about the little confusing monkey men. What are your thoughts on like the characters and to some extent the world? As far as like, do they contribute to like a cohesive universe of Spyro, or does it feel like disconnected in a way that's like just feels like game characters kind of just like slapped into different settings or something? You kind of get what I mean? Because it's like, who is the enemy of the dragon? Just anybody?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so like the main enemy faction are the Norks. And I think what's going on in lore is Gnasty Gnorc, if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think that's actually a joke they make in the very beginning. Nasty Gnorc curses all of the dragon treasure and turns some of it into monsters. I guess like wage war against the dragon. So that's why every time you kill an enemy and it drops a gem, that's why it drops a gem, is because it was an enchanted piece of treasure or like cursed or whatever. I think that's what's going on.
So kind of Mario 1 style. Like we turned all the shit into enemies. Yeah.
And I think there's enough overlap where like Norks are present enough in enough of the levels for them to feel like consistent like across the board. And like the Norks also kind of change their appearance based on the like the home world they're in, if that makes sense. Like the Norks in Artisans look different than the Norks. Like the Norks in Peacekeepers have on their little like army drummer boy outfits. And like the Norks in Beastmakers have a more like punk look to them. And then like, you know, the other enemies are more like thematic to each homeworld. I don't know. I think it works. I never felt... But you also have to understand I've been playing this game since I was 4 years old. So it's like written into my brain, into my synapses. So I can't get outside of it because it's integrated in my noggin.
I definitely like the Gnorcs and like using them in different sort of professions and outfits with different weapons or whatever. Big fan of that. When they throw in like random, like sheep herders or and dogs, and for like the toasty level and stuff. It's like that feels a little bit less consistent to me. In a way that, like, gotta be honest, don't care about, but do notice. It's like, okay, just kind of feels like random character thrown in, which is fine. Whatever. This podcast is for me to talk about things that I notice and don't care about. So
okay.
Anyway, that's all I really have for this little section. If you want to move into mechanics.
Yeah, sure. So I guess in this section, I'm going to start talking about the differences between original and reignited. So what I noticed between playing the two versions is, so in Spyro, the mechanics are very, I would say the control scheme is super duper solid. Would you agree? Where it's simple, but like effective.
I like it in the sense that I'm like, yeah, this is definitely playable still today in 2025 or whatever.
And it doesn't feel like dated.
I think it needed a little bit of refinement. Just like the tiny things, like they didn't quite, camera controls weren't standardized. So you're like using the bumpers and stuff to move around. And yeah, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, I quickly kind of grasp how Spyro handles, and it's manageable for sure.
Right. I feel like in the Reignited trilogy, there's something kind of off about Spyro's movement compared to the original. Where, like, I don't know, it's like sometimes his turn radius is a lot tighter than what I expected it to be, but also sometimes, and I don't know if it's like dropped input because I have played it on Xbox and Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed on the Switch, sometimes it's really hard to get him to turn tight corners. Okay. And I don't know if that's input drop due to like it getting framey and like kind of lagging a little bit. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But, and then also the gliding in Reignited Trilogy feels like he descends a lot faster. Yeah. Like your glides aren't as gradual. And they added in Reignited Trilogy this little like animation where if you are gliding towards a ledge at the like last possible second, he'll like do like a little hop to like get up on the ledge, but not like, it's not like the hover mechanic that comes in the next couple games where it's not like, and it's just, it makes me clench my butt and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Crash had a similar thing where it's like, and maybe it's just the nature of how the games are being reconstructed where you can't, they're probably like starting from scratch in some aspect of building the game. They can't just ape the exact precise mechanics of the original. So it's like some level of an approximation. But yeah, the descending thing, I kind of remember that being part of it. I feel like gliding, it was much easier to like reach where I was gliding in the original version.
Yeah.
And the turn radius thing, are you saying that you feel like the turn radius was wider or shorter in the remake? Or just less understandable?
Somehow both. Like sometimes it felt like too responsive and sometimes not nearly responsive enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, in a way that would kind of like throw me off where it's like, I don't know. And maybe it's not a fair comparison to make because I'm so used to the original Spyro because that's the one that I played like for most of my life until Reignited came out.
That's got to factor in a little bit where it's like, yeah, this is in my brain, as you said, in your synapses.
Right. Like I know this. Yeah. And so when you hand me the Reignited trilogy and I play it, I'm like, well, this is wrong. It doesn't feel right. Yeah. Something's off.
Mm-hmm.
I can taste it. I can smell it. And I don't like it. But I would say like in terms of like how Spyro handles, I feel like the original Spyro maybe isn't as responsive, but it's more consistent. And so it's what I'm used to, so I like it more.
Yeah, I hear you. On the turn radius thing, I feel like for platformers, I want to play a platformer that does not prioritize animation over like responsiveness. And that is kind of apparent in like a turn radius type situation. Like imagine you're playing like a third person high budget cinematic game like Red Dead 2. You try to turn Arthur Morgan around and he's handling like a fucking semi truck. He's got he's got to do a wide ass turnaround.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing like Mario or something, I just want it to be like no frames, just like boom, he's going that direction, boom, he's going that direction. And I kind of want that from Spyro as well. And the turn radius thing is like, I don't want any radius. I want 0 radius. I want a zero radius turn mower. That's what I want to play as. So
sure. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I do notice that in I think both games where it's like, yeah, you know, it's like I'm facing the wrong direction, want to turn around, get prepared for a jump or something. And it's like too wide for my liking. But it's not often that there's like precise enough platforming for that to be a humongous issue. So even though I don't like it, it's like, yeah, the game was made with this difficulty level in mind and these mechanics in mind. So it's like, it's fine.
Well, also, yeah, I think you also kind of have to factor in the original Spyro, you have to like sit there and wait a second for your camera to swing around.
Yeah, exactly.
Too, because I don't think your camera moves super fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the remake, I think there's an option to like have the camera kind of fixed to where you're looking a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there was like some camera options in there. I can't remember what I liked more. But
gotcha.
Yeah, also controlling the camera with the stick in the remake, very nice. Mm-hmm. Love me some good right analog stick action, I guess.
Yeah.
You prefer the original. I will say that I prefer the remake as someone who I first played Spyro, I think, when we played the Reignited trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do definitely see the sort of like early PS2, like, it's like I get nostalgia, even though I didn't play this. Where it's like, it's just like a very like, it's very PS1. You know, it's like you got the like the grassy plains and like the very vibrant skyboxes. It's good. So I do like it from that perspective, but
for sure.
Yeah. I got a question. So sometimes when I play this game, I remember that there's a roll. Like you can do.
Yeah,
like
I never use it.
What is that like meant to be for something? Are you like meant to dodge with that? What do you think was the idea behind this roll mechanic?
So I don't know so remember how when the PlayStation came out, not every controller had analog sticks, right? And so I'm kind of wondering if the roll was meant to be an option where like if you're facing an enemy, instead of having to like fumble with the directional buttons, if maybe it'll just let you roll to the side real quick.
Yeah.
And maybe that's supposed to help make up for some awkwardness there. I don't know because I never use it. There's never really a reason to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think I usually run into it. I ran into it this time because I was on like the PSP, and the PSP has, you know, a different amount of controls available. So I had to like so I was just pressing stuff to figure out what it did, and I rolled, and I'm like, oh yeah, you can roll in this game. What's that even for? I don't know.
Don't know.
I feel like that's somewhat common where there's like, oh yeah, you can do this for some reason.
And then it's like, why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to do that? I'm trying to remember. I feel like there's something like that in Mario 64. I don't know. There's like some weird mechanic where it's like, wait, why would I do this? Anyway. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's just like throwing spaghetti at the wall for like these early 3D platformers. Like, hey, this might be something that people feel the need to do for this reason, or I don't know. So it's kind of interesting.
And I'm pretty sure they took it out by Spyro too. They're like, you don't need to roll. Why did we give you that?
We got telemetry. No one rolled.
Yeah.
None of you used this. So yeah. Morgan, how do you feel about I know you said the moveset gets expanded in Spyro 2, with like the hover and stuff.
Yes.
Is there anything else that it adds? And okay, do you prefer one game's moveset? Granted, I know the game is like built around various whatever's available to you, but in your head, do you like Spyro to have like the kind of limited like Spyro 1 moveset? It's like he runs, jumps, glides, charges, and breathes fire, and that's about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I like the simplicity, especially like in terms of like combat.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really all you need.
It's like rock, paper, scissors, but it's just rock and paper.
Yes.
Something, yeah.
Do you fire the enemy or do you charge them? And it has this super clear, like, visual language. Like, well, if you see an enemy who's wearing shiny metal, then you know what to do. And then, like, I don't know, it's a bunch of, like, very core, very simple concepts that kind of get built upon. Because then sometimes you come across enemies where it's like, oh, they're not a chargeable size, but they're wearing metal, so do I charge them anyway? And then it's like, oh yeah, you nudge them off the edge by charging them repeatedly. Oh, cool. Because of the ice, because it's an icy level and so they can slip. But then in Dreamweavers, it's like, oh, it's chargeable, but they're too big and I can't push them around. Oh, I need to go get to this cannon that can make them small. Like, it's there's still, like, a lot of creativity with how the game is designed around these very simple things, and I think they did a good job with that. So I like it the way it is.
I think I do prefer, like, conceptually, I prefer the idea of, like, a platformer that has a very simple moveset available to you that is maybe, like, mechanically deep in some sense. Like, you can kind of, it has, like, a mastery to it, like moving efficiently and stuff. Like, that's fun.
Right.
But then, like, having just the world and the enemies be what's built upon as opposed to expanding a moveset. I like that. Like, presenting new challenges, like new ways to interact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And it doesn't suffer from, like, I know when we talked about Enter the Dragonfly, we talked about how the different breath types didn't do anything to, like, elevate the gameplay or, like, teach you anything new. Like, it was
exactly.
just... And that original design philosophy in, like, the first Spyro game is so much better by comparison, and it's, like, really obvious when you play them both.
It's like a keep it simple, stupid type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the flight levels? That's, like, the one, like, I don't know, like, mini game alternate mechanic type thing.
I used to hate them as a kid.
Yeah,
because anything with a timer would freak me out. I could see myself
hating it as a kid too, because it is like pretty tight. It's like hard. You got to find the right route and, like, perfect execution almost.
Yeah, and it's very, like, punishing. Like, if you hit a wall, then you fall and lose time, or if you fall into the water, then you have to restart. Like, it's definitely the most, like, punishing level type. I mean, like, I don't know, as an adult though, they don't really give me too much trouble because I have all the routes memorized. But I can see it being maybe kind of frustrating. I don't know. But then again, like, the way that those flight levels are structured, they present you with, like, okay, logically, the rings are right here. Let's go through the rings. Oh, what's next? Oh, the chests. Let's flame those. Oh, the arches. Okay, and then, like, the lighthouses or whatever. Like, they're built to have, like, a logical sense to, like, what to do and when. It's more just, like, make sure you react in time to handle it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found the difficulty curve in the flight levels to be really weird.
I know. Because I feel like they got easier and then harder, and
Yeah. Because it's like, okay, so the one in Artisans, you're not meant to, like, know about that, really. It's kind of supposed to be kind of, like, hidden.
Yeah.
Until Wizard Peak, I think is what that level is called. And then you come across a dragon who's like, oh, if you go to Artisans and step on these things, see what happens. And then that's how you get Sunny Flight, which is the Artisans flight level. So, like, it's meant to be Peacekeeper's flight level, don't remember what it's called, and then go in order.
Peacekeepers was the very easy one, if I remember right.
Yes, because that's, like, supposed to be the very first one. The hardest one, though, in my opinion, is Wild Flight, which is the Beastmaker's one. Just because there's, like, 3 different things it presents you with that you can choose to go after right off the bat. Do you go for the boats? Do you go for, like, the arches or the chests? And they're like right in this really tight beginning area. So, like, that's one that would always mess me up a lot. But then the final flight level, Icy Flight in Dreamweavers, is, like, really easy. So it's like, I don't know, the difficulty curve is just kind of weird on those.
I feel like an unfortunate part of the remake, unfortunate part is a bit of an exaggeration, but I can't think of a lighter way to put it, is the visual change to the stones in the Artisan world, where it's like they activate when you step on
the
them.
lights. Yeah, you're not supposed to see that. It's supposed to be secret.
Yeah, it's supposed to be secret, but then it's like you do just see it right away. So it's like, oh, so it kind of makes that harder level one of the first things that you interact with. So yeah, because I could easily see that being someone's, like, they're playing the game naturally. They see the first dragon. Oh, they got it. Oh, I see the second dragon right to my left. Oh, I got it. Let me hop across this. Oh, it glows And then that's like the first level you do is this like kind of difficult flight level.
Yeah.
It'd be like a little awkward, but I don't know. I don't feel that strongly about that, I guess. It's just,
yeah. I don't know. And it is kind of weird in that in Spyro 1, that's the only like need for backtracking if you didn't know that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only instance of it. So it's kind of like I don't know why they did that.
I think it's a little fun, the idea of I don't like the idea of like gatekeeping in the sense of like I mean, if for some games it makes sense, but like if Spyro was like, "Oh, you got to find the key to open this door," or something like that. You got to unlock this ability to open this thing in this first world. It's like, I like the fact that it's there and you learn about how to interact with it later, or you can just maybe discover it by accident. That's cool. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I prefer the secret versus the gatekeep, I guess.
Okay. Well, then Spyro 2, you might not like some of those changes very much because it gets a little gatekeepy.
Yeah, gatekeepy, little gaslighty, little girl bossy. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's all I got for mechanics. Let's discuss the gameplay loop. This is a collect-a-thon, and I feel like in my head this is maybe the like it's like the text. If I was writing a video game dictionary or a video game textbook, and I had a page on collect-a-thons, I feel like Spyro is like Spyro 1 right there. I feel like this is the perfect collect-a-thon subgenre of like platformers. I guess collect-a-thon's more like an adjective to a genre, you know? If like the genre is like how you interact with the game or something, collect-a-thon's kind of like what you do.
That makes sense.
But yeah, this is like the perfect, like, this is chill. It's got a list. It's very manageable. There's only a couple times where it's like, I didn't know where to go. I had to look it up, but it's very figure outable and fun. So Morgan, when you play on your like, monthly playthrough of Spyro, are you just going for like 100% every time, or is it more just like whatever? Okay, yeah. It does feel like
going for 100%.
Yeah, because it feels good whenever you like finish a world, you add to the gems, and it's on a nice even round number every time.
Yes.
Yeah. Necessary.
Oh yeah, it drives me nuts when it's not even. Like I will finish, like, you know how like even going through the homeworlds, I will finish collecting all the homeworld gems before I go and start going into the levels.
Exactly.
Because,
I totally get that. Whenever I started my playthrough, I knew I didn't have enough time for 100%. So I'm like, I'm not going to 100%. I immediately started 100%ing and I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Because it is like, it lays itself out in a way that makes you want to engage with it in like the, I want to collect everything sort of way, which is, I guess, good. I feel like Insomniac does this to this day still. Like Spider-Man and stuff, I'm like, very good 100%ing experience,
Yeah.
And the 100% is not like overly demanding. It feels like the right length.
Right.
Yeah. Don't get too bored. I wrote here inflated progression. I think it's fun that in the later levels, like the gems get like bonkers. Like it's like, oh, I'm getting like 4 purple gems from this little area or something like that.
Oh yeah, the gem counts. Yeah.
I like that. I like that kind of steady ramp in the value of the things you're collecting. Just fun. I don't know. I will say that if you're going for 100%, this doesn't actually apply that much, but if you're just kind of playing the game straight up, it's kind of like there's only the requirements for like the different collectibles are 50 dragons, 6,000 gems, and 5 eggs. And you kind of reach a point where it's like, oh, I got all the eggs. That's it. It's like, there's no like, aside from like going for the 100%, there's no like reason to go for anything past those. Which is whatever. I don't really know if that's a big deal, but I do think about it at night when I can't sleep. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I
getting those eggs?
Why am I still getting these dragons? I already met the requirement. Yeah.
Get into Nasty's loot.
Exactly.
Get that nasty loot.
And then it's like, what am I doing here? I already beat the game and I'm still collecting loot. What am I
Because
doing?
number go uppy make dopamine go uppy.
Yeah, number go uppy does make dopamine go uppy, so I get it. I get it. Do you have anything to add to
I do not.
level design? I'm curious, Morgan, if you can remember. I know that this game, as we discussed, ingrained in your memory. It's maybe a percentage of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember any levels that stick out to you as like, this was tricky for me the first time, like trying to find everything, or like this specific like gem location? It's like I always miss this.
Let me think. I'm thinking.
I will say I have one. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
The sheep world. It's like one of the first worlds that you go in, where you like kind of get up on like that grassy area.
Plains.
I'm always missing like 4 gem.
And they're hard to find up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also also in that same level, Stonehill, whatever.
Yeah.
By the end portal, there's certain areas in Spyro where you kind of have to make a blind leap of faith.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, there it is. Okay, cool. And like I remember, so when and I think I talked about this in the previous Spyro game we covered in that episode. No, this was during our Nightfire episode of all things, where I talked about how like when I was too young to play games, I would watch my dad play. And so I remember like my first playthrough of Spyro with him, where I was watching him do it, and like I remember I would have to go back to my mom's for the week, and then I wouldn't get to see my dad again until the weekend. And during the week, he would boot up the PlayStation and play Spyro sometimes. And so when I would come and see him again on the weekend, he would be like, oh yeah, remember that gem we couldn't find before? Oh, I found it. It was here. And then he would like kind of walk me through like how he figured it out or whatever. And I remember like in the Beastmaker's homeworld, there's like one of those little huts, and there's a pig hiding, or like a boar or whatever, hiding on the outside of one of those huts, and you can hear it, but it's like, but where is it?
Right. Yeah.
And so he missed like the trail of gems that like led around to it. So like I remember little stuff like that would kind of trip us up. Treetops, the supercharge, figuring that out was like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
Figuring that out without
Trial
internet.
error.
Yeah, that seems like he'd be there a while.
There's some blind gliding in, is it Wizard Peaks again, I think, where it's like there's these wizards that are like kind of up on these platforms, and you can't reach them, and you have to actually go backwards out the like opening of the level and then get up on these like winding paths along the mountains. And there's a couple of those, I think, where you kind of have to make a blind-ish glide around to like land where the wizards are and get them. That one always took a while to figure out. But yeah, just like little stuff like that was challenging the first few times around, I remember.
Yeah, not unfortunately, but the way that I interacted with the game, I never had a completely blind run, because we played through it together for the first time. So it's like going back to it, it's like, where's this? Oh yeah, it's here. Yeah. And then so I kind of just already knew where a lot of them are, so I don't have a completely genuine like, oh yeah, it took me forever to find this thing. But
how do you feel about the difficulty curve and level designs?
I guess, okay, so first thing that comes to mind when you say difficulty curve, I'm thinking of the bosses, the boss levels. I feel like not Toasty himself necessarily, but the dogs.
Yeah.
I'm really bad with the dogs for some reason.
Oh, really?
Like I know that there's like a little like loop. You know, you just make a little loop or something, like you flame them, you run in a circle, you flame them again, or at least that's how I end up, or you jump away or whatever. But yeah, I feel like those dogs always smacked my ass around more than like any of the other boss levels. So that's like the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, yeah, it's like, I feel like the levels get more complex mechanically. I'm trying to think if there's like anything where I'm like, yeah, this is hard. I guess like the final level, like the nasty Nort.
Oh yeah, those are pretty, a
little challenging.
No, in the Twilight Harbor, which is like the very last one before the boss fight.
With all the guns.
The guns.
Yeah, in this E-rated game. Holy shit, how'd they sneak that one
Commandos.
past? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think where I remember the big difficulty. I mean, the introduction of the supercharge was kind of a spike a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, because it's kind of quick maneuvering. So
yeah,
I get
for
that.
sure.
I think the double supercharge, speaking of like maybe less, not the double supercharge, but like the fact that the supercharge like builds on itself and like you start going faster and can jump further. That wasn't like, I don't know if that was like explicitly said by any of the dragons or something like that, but I kind of wonder if you had to figure that out on your own, how many people might have missed that.
Right. I think the dragon, like right before the supercharge, might say something about being able to stack them, but I don't listen to the dragons anymore. I just skip them.
Yeah. So in the original, a lot of the dragons say the same thing, right?
Thank you for releasing me.
For releasing me. Yeah. Did they give them more? They gave everyone a little more personality. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember think they did. That. Yeah. Well, they all have unique designs too. In the
dragon designs are good.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are good.
I like them.
Yeah, I feel like in the original, the dragon designs were more. I mean, they had variety, and like there were like different body types between the different, like realms or whatever, which was cool. And they all had, I'm pretty sure they all had a unique color palette. But yeah, Reignited definitely like ramped up the uniqueness of each design and interaction, and all the animations. The animations were wonderfully done.
When we did our bad speed run, was that your first time seeing
playing Reignited? Yeah,
I was seeing Reignited. So that was like a live and raw reaction to
correct.
Yeah,
and we rushed through the whole thing.
Rushed through it. Yep. Whenever you play this, do you ever go for like you just 100%? You don't ever be like,
yeah, I don't worry about speed running. No.
I kind of wondered, like, do you know like what the route would be?
So the Spyro, I think the top, and I could be wrong now, but when I kind of paid attention, the top original Spyro speedrunner is Deo Man, I think. And in Spyro 1, they have like a super specific, well, I guess it depends on what category you're doing too, because there's 120% runs, and then
I guess
there's
like a glitchless is kind of what
yeah. Right. So like how Spyro 1 works is they have to have a very specific collectible route, because there's not, as far as I'm aware, there's not a good way to skip between home worlds without actually meeting the requirements. However, in Reignited Trilogy, the no condition, any percent speedrun or whatever, they get to Peacekeepers, I think, and then there's a specific proxy jump you can do to get out of the home world, out of bounds in the home world, and then you fall on a trigger. I think it's like a debugging trigger that lets you access the like full world list, and then they just go to Nasty's Cove from there and skip most of the game.
That's fun.
So to me, yeah, it's they have access to that debug trigger, which really cuts down on the time. Yeah. But I personally find the carefully planning and optimizing the collectible route to be more interesting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's like a logistics thing.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Is that still so? Like, I feel like speedrunning is kind of weird whenever you get into the world of modern day gaming patches, because I assume that most speedruns are like played on a specific build of the game. I don't know.
Right.
It's just
depending on what's patched out. Yeah.
Like, I assume that this speedrun is maybe relying on like a release build or something like that. Like, that sounds like something that would have got patched out. Maybe not though.
I don't remember. It might be. Yeah, that's not something that I like took note of.
You want to talk about gimmicks?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess while we're talking about level design, and we've kind of already talked about this before, how like certain levels are, I would say certain levels are kind of like generic-ish in their design. I mean, every single one is unique, so it's not really like generic, but like some of them are they lean more heavily into the gimmicks than others. So like, for example, we have Treetops, which is, its gimmick is obviously like the supercharged mechanic and those like routes around the level. Then there's like Haunted Towers, which has the like the invulnerable floating suits of armor that you have to figure out how to navigate around, and the fairy kisses that give you the super flame that lets you defeat them or whatever. And then you have Dark Passage, which has the like the jester guys with the lanterns that change the shapes of the enemies or whatever. And then Nasty's Loot, which is the bonus level, which has free flight. Like, I think that maybe this is a little bit redundant to what we already discussed, but like having these gimmicks build on the core mechanics of the gameplay, I think they did a really good job. And I think it's really creative what they came up with.
Yeah, I think that all these levels are probably like the standouts for that reason.
For sure,
like
yeah.
They introduce,
most memorable.
Yeah, they introduce a mechanic kind of slowly and build upon it, and then you're done. I feel like that's like a textbook good platforming experience, or any game that has like a sort of limited like move set type thing. So it's like you're relying on the different levels to have interesting things to interact with to spice up the gameplay. Yeah. I also maybe I'll throw in the that icy level where you kind of have to like run into people to knock them off the edge. I don't know. That's like,
oh yeah,
I don't know. It's thematic in like an aesthetic plus gameplay sense. Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that level is also maybe one of the big difficulty spikes in the early game, because the way that level is designed, the like routes you can take through it are a lot more complex.
They are. Yeah. I that's one of the areas where I kind of get a little turned around and confused whenever I'm trying to get everything. I think that's all I got for levels.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about aesthetics?
I do.
Okay. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I want you to start.
Okay. So I think when we talk about original Spyro versus Reignited Trilogy, I think, and I don't even want to say hangups, because I think the Reignited Trilogy looks great. I think they did a great job, and for the most part, I like the artistic direction. But that's also where, obviously, I think most of the differences are going to show between the two. And this is going to sound pretentious, and I can't figure out how else to say it. But I personally think, and this is probably my nostalgia talking, that the original has a lot more visual charm than the remake. Because I feel like with the limited technology of the time of the PlayStation 1, more careful and deliberate emphasis was put on the color palettes in each level. Like, in order to, I guess, sort of like emphasize like where light sources are coming from and what color is that light source. Like it's more baked into like the level textures versus Reignited, which was made with an engine where you could, you know, like, I guess, render out like lighting simulations or whatever. I don't know if that's the proper terminology.
Everybody's currently coughing.
Excuse me.
She's reaching for water. Oh my god, she's shotgunning the entire water bottle. Oh my god, she's eating the water bottle. What the fuck is going on? Anyway.
But anyway, what I was going to say was, so if you were to take the way, like the graphics were rendered for OG Spyro versus Reignited, and if you consider both of those, renderings, or like how that's rendered an artistic medium, I think original Spyro makes better use of its medium than Reignited does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like better use of the tools and technology available type thing. Yeah.
Maybe better use, or maybe in a way where it has more character and it's more memorable because of the way it is.
I'll give you that. I mean, like, I like the Reignited trilogy a lot. I like how it looks. I think it looks very good. Like, if you're making a platform, it's got like a Nintendo level of polish, I feel like. You know, it's very like pretty and cohesive, and like how everything looks and all that. But I will say that the OG Spyro is like a vibe and a half. It's just like,
it is.
I mean, it's not even from a nostalgia perspective. I'm just saying, like, these purples, these oranges, these blues, these greens, they've been making me feel good. So I get it.
Yeah. And I guess like maybe a more sensible or more concise way to put it is to say, like, I feel like the Reignited trilogy made some sacrifices to style in favor of realism.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best way to put it. But then again, they added some elements to the world, like the windmills and blowhard. That's not in the original, but they look really good in Reignited. Right. So it's like there's some give and take there. But I feel like just like the color palette in original Spyro is like immaculate. Like if you're like a color theory nerd or like I don't know, a color nerd in general or an art nerd, that's gonna like really speak to you.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I think about the vibe of Spyro, I think about who's the boss in Peacekeeper.
Dr. Shemp.
Dr. Shemp. Yeah, when you're on Dr. Shemp and you like kind of hop up on that big tall like rock, fly to that rock that's kind of like out in the distance or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like staring at like an eclipse and it's all like orange and like I don't know, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, it's a good vibe. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a fantastic vibe.
I feel like the grassy plains and then like those sort of like kind of like twilighty time stuff where it's like the sky is like a very like unusual color they're very fun. Very fun to look at.
Also, all of the Dreamweavers worlds where everything is so saturated.
Yeah. Oh
and
my
there's
God.
all these really deep purples and like really vibrant greens and turquoises and like pinks and there's so many good colors. I'm a big fan of the colors.
I wish I could bring you over and show you just how it is on the CRT because the CRT's saturation is naturally really high and like the contrast is really intense. Like the blacks are really dark and the whites are the brights are really bright. So like playing it on the CRT, it's like, man, this is like cranked
Living
up.
the dream.
It feels cranked up.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I guess moving on to the soundtrack. So in Reignited, they made some changes. So I guess would you say maybe they remastered the whole soundtrack? I guess
I think
that's probably
so.
how you would say that.
Yeah.
And they also had a dynamic setting or effect applied where anytime you were you like charged as Spyro, I think maybe it was most of the music would fade out and you would be left with maybe the bass and like the drums and stuff.
Okay.
And I did not like that.
I'm trying to remember. I kind of forgot. I should have jumped into the remake, I guess, but I forgot this was a thing. Was it a thing when you like went further away from the level? Like if you flew to like a far off place or somewhere high up, did it kind of fade out?
I know that happens at least once in Spyro 2 in the original. In Spyro 1 that doesn't happen. And in the Reignited, I don't remember it for changes in like altitude or distance, but I do remember it for charging. I've had that setting disabled for so long.
Okay.
Because I didn't like it.
Okay.
Because it's like, I like the music, so I just want to hear the music.
Right. I was scratching my head like a monkey there for a little bit too. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
I felt.
Yeah. And I also have, for the Reignited, I have it switched back to the original soundtrack because, I mean, the reorchestrated soundtrack is good. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't do a good job because they did, but I like the original. I can't help it.
No, I get it. I think we've discussed everything for aesthetics. I will say, just to kind of tie together the whole OG versus remake thing, I would, if a child especially like came up to us and was like, I want to play Spyro, which one of these should I play? For some reason they're asking us. Again, much like the presenting you with Princess Mononoke thing, I would be like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to get arrested if I talk to this child or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's illegal for adults to talk to children.
Sure. Sure.
But I would recommend the Reignited trilogy. Would you? For like a child? Like a modern, a Gen Alpha.
Yeah. I mean, they'd probably like Reignited more. Well, also, so that's one thing that I forgot to bring up completely. In Spyro 2, the original Spyro 2, they introduced being able to, I think you press all the shoulder buttons at once, and then Sparks will direct you to the nearest piece of treasure.
Oh!
So if you're really stuck and if you can't find something, in Spyro, starting with Spyro 2, you can do that. In the original Spyro, that did not have that. In Reignited Trilogy, they do. So for sake of like ease for a child, they're probably going to have an easier time with Reignited if you teach them how to do that.
Yeah.
In terms of like letting my kids' eyeballs get fried by like particle effects and color explosions and all of that stuff, maybe I might give them original Spyro.
Oh, are you okay? Yeah. This is a whole like this could be a whole like podcast. I feel like is introducing children our children to gaming and like what that would look like. But yeah,
well, because
I'm
like
interested.
Yeah, I know I've said this on the show before. Don't remember which episode. I'm probably repeating myself multiple times over, and if so, I'm sorry. There is something every once in a while. I know I'm getting old when I play a new game or like engage with new media, and I'm like, I can't see what's happening because the things, the layers of effects. Yeah, like Mass Effect Andromeda. I remember playing that for the first time and being like, I can't see past all this
alien
fluorescent jungle foliage. What's happening?
Yeah.
And I think Reignited did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overwatch 2 made me feel that way.
Really?
A little bit. Just a little. Not that
bad. I feel
bad.
like they have such like directing.
They do better
design.
than most. Yeah. For sure. I don't even remember the most like recent game where I really had that problem, but yeah, I think I kind of remember the first time I played Reignited. I was kind of like, can I see?
I feel like I had that with
but like
Rift Apart. Whenever I played Rift Apart,
yes.
I was like,
oh yeah. That was a big one where I was like,
on?
What is it? It's too saturated. I can't.
Too many things flying around.
Right. And so
Bring
it's
me back
like
to Spyro on the PS1.
Yeah, if I hand a 4-year-old in their brain, their visual cortex, Spyro Reignited trilogy, is it going to fry something in there? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like there's a legitimate argument for overstimulation.
Yeah.
Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. Not all games are created equal. Like if you throw your kid in front of like one of these slot machine emulating type games like Candy Crush or like a mobile game, it's like a lot of shit flying at them that's maybe too much. Not designed with good intentions, but like just a very like calm, understated retro game where it's not like constantly firing dopamine off at your kid.
Correct.
Maybe that's better. I mean, like, I guess all video games are like, I want you to feel like a false sense of accomplishment. Again, why are we doing anything? Anyway, this is
dopamine.
We're going to get too deep.
We're just meat driven by electrical impulses, brother.
Anyway. I think are we good with aesthetics?
Yeah.
All right. So where can you play this game today? Here's what I tried. I tried a variety of things. I played it on PSP for a little bit. Nice little hacked PSP. Everyone out there, get yourself a modded PS3. It's great. Not
PS3 or PSP?
PSP. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun little console because it can just like play. I think it has 100% compatibility with just like PS1 games. So it's just like, yeah, just get yourself a little PSP, load that sucker up with, I don't know, the whole PS1 library if you want. Just have a little portable PS1. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also tried the PSP composite output because it has that on a CRT. It's like, yeah, that works. It's cool. It has component output as well, which might be a little funky way to play it, but you can, I guess. And I think the PSP Go, the one that was like a little slide phone, I don't know if you remember that. Like it was just a screen, you slide it out, and then it has like a little... It's cool. I want one. Harder to come by because it was like a later iteration. Not many people had it, but it had a fucking dock, Morgan. Like the Switch.
Oh.
And you could connect a PS3.
It was the Switch before the Switch? It was
literally the Switch before the Switch. You can connect a PS3 controller to it.
Damn.
And it's like, oh, I would have like a little Switch-like experience for like PS1 and PSP games. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool, Morgan. You're not reacting enough. I'm sorry.
Well, they can't see me anyway.
No, I also tried PS3 S-Video out on CRT. That's how I ended up playing it, just because it was it felt right at the time. Duck Station, also solid. Everything looks nice and crispy. I could really hurt myself if I cut myself on those sharp edges that Duck Station creates.
Those horns.
Yeah, those horns. Yeah, everything's nice and crisp. More you played on Duck Station. Did you? What's every way that you've played Spyro the Dragon that you can?
Counting Reignited.
Ignoring Reignited, just the original.
Oh, okay. PS1, PS2, which is the same.
Basically the same.
And then Duck Station.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if there's any other way to do it. I don't know if they did like a re-release, like a PS1 classic on PS4 that you can get to, but I assume it's...
I don't remember.
If they did, it's probably just fine. I don't know what the best way to play it is. Maybe just PS1? I don't really know. Aside from emulation. I don't know what the best way to play it is.
Yeah, I had no issues with emulation.
Yeah. Emulation's probably the way to go. Unless you want like an authentic look or something. Then,
Then it's probably going to be CRT. Go on down, get yourself a CRT.
Get yourself CRT before they're gone.
Go on, plug it
Before
in.
they end up in the trash heap. Yeah, plug it in, drive up your energy bill. Them suckers ain't that energy efficient. All right, Morgan. Big question now. Do you recommend the game?
Of course. Everybody knows it should be mandated.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's real good. I said it before, but it's like the perfect collectathon. It's like textbook.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy time. Easy recommend for pretty much anyone who's looking for a chill time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the Dark Souls of PS1 platform. Actually, that's probably Crash Bandicoot. Possibly.
Yeah. Oh man, we should also do Crash Bandicoot. Maybe I should make you play Crash Bandicoot. I don't know. I
get stuck at a certain level, and I have tried, and I cannot.
Uh-huh.
At one of the early levels.
Is it the bridge? One of the bridge ones? One of the hog ones?
I don't remember. It's not. It's like a 2D platforming section of it.
Oh, I think I know which one it is. Maybe. I don't remember the name,
though. And you jump up. There's big bouncy boxes. You jump up. Yeah. There's fire, and there's plants. And guys with shields that bounce you around. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Unforgiving hitboxes. Yep. Man, this time trial relic for that one was a bitch.
I bet. I believe it. I'm much better at Crash 3, which is, I think, the easiest of them all.
Yes.
But
most reasonable. Crash 1 is demonic.
Yeah,
a little bit. Now, perfect opportunity. Thank you for bringing it up. I will flex that 100% of the game. This guy, capital G gamer here. Capital G gamer. All right. What were we talking about? Yeah, we recommend the game.
Yes.
I think we covered everything that we needed to say for the remake.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. What do we want next? What do we want to see next for the series? We also talked about this. We just want a Crash 4. I mean, a Spyro 4. Sorry. We want a Spyro 4.
Traitor.
From Toys for Bob, if it still exists. I have not Googled it. They could be dead.
Yeah. I hope not.
I hope not too, but I don't really know. I think there was some stuff going on with them. Anyway.
If they're dead, then so was my will to live.
Nobody tell Morgan.
I'm kidding.
Nobody write in.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a thing. I need a co-host for the show. I can't do it alone. Okay. That was Spyro. That's our first non PS2 game. Very fun.
Still playable on the PS2.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it's not that far off. And our next game or medium is also viewable on the PS2. So maybe that's how we should watch it.
That's how we skirt by it.
Yeah, because the PS2 could play DVDs, we can cover every movie.
That has a DVD release.
Or that can be shoved on a DVD. Did I tell you that I was making DVDs for Neon Genesis Evangelion so I could watch them on my CRT?
I think you did.
Yeah.
You're making DVD. Okay.
I was burning fucking DVDs in 2025.
I remember this.
Yeah. That's me. Hi. I bet you're wondering how I ended up like this. Yeah.
And you think I'm obsessive.
I love you obsess about things that... So you obsess about like the thing, you enjoy the actual work. I obsess about how to enjoy it and then don't enjoy it because I haven't finished Evangelion. I've just obsessed. I spent more time figuring out how to burn DVDs of Evangelion with hard subtitles so I could watch them on the DVD player than I spent watching. Yeah. I need to get back to it anyway. Our next game is not a game; it's a movie. Morgan, I got a question for you. We can go two routes with this. I'm going to be honest with you. I do lean one direction, but I want I want to give you the option.
Okay.
So I want to watch a Resident Evil movie.
Okay.
And we can do this. There's the live action series. I think it's 2002 is the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also a CGI series. I think released in 2008. That looks incredible in the wrong way.
Oh yes.
So there's a feature-length movie. What's it called? Oh, I was just looking at it. Anyway, let me actually find it before we close the episode. Resident Evil CGI movies. Okay, Resident Evil Degeneration. That would be.
Is that the non-CGI one?
That's the CGI one. I think the non-CGI one is just called Resident Evil.
Okay. Oops, I accidentally bumped my mic. Who did I see correctly? The cover of Degeneration, was that Leon?
It looks like Leon and Claire.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
I feel drawn to this.
Me too.
I am drawn to this shitty CGI thing and the potential train wreck of it all.
Yeah, me too.
It calls to me. There's a siren song that I must come and see what this is about.
So Resident Evil, let me see, Code Veronica? What was that? Oh, wait, that's not right.
I thought Code Veronica was a game.
That's 2004. Or that's 2000, never mind. I'm trying to figure out if this is like the next piece of Resident Evil media after 4. I think it is.
Hell yeah.
It is, I think. So it's kind of like maybe a continuation. We'll see. So we're gonna cover a movie next episode. And this is partially because I talked about this with Morgan. I wanna create a nice little buffer as we're heading to summer, because we're gonna be busy. I'm gonna take some vacations and stuff like that. So want to just make sure that we can like keep a consistent schedule. Give me a little buffer. So we're gonna do a nice easy movie to kind of start building that. And we did a nice short game to help with that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And depending on how free I am, I also might dabble and see what other Resident Evil media is floating around there.
Okay, so there is, I think, this is like the third Resident Evil CGI thing. There were 2 before this that were short. And maybe we kind of lump those together. I don't know. Maybe we also check out, I think it's like 4D something.
Okay.
And that looked, you know what? Let's talk about it. Okay. But Resident Evil Degeneration will be like the name of the episode, I guess. That'll be the main thing.
Got it.
So yeah. Now, if you listener, hey, that's you. If you happen to have any memories or anecdotes about Resident Evil and you want to write in, share those, feel free. I'm just going to throw that in at the end of every episode, because if you got any thoughts and opinions, I'd like to include them. Maybe have like a little listener section, like, hey, I like this thing, whatever. Now, Morgan, this might create a logistical problem for us where we might get too far ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my thought. We might do, if we get like a couple write-ins for something, we might do a pickup where that's fine. Yeah, just stitch it in later. So yeah, as of now, kind of figuring this segment out. So if you have any anecdotes about Resident Evil Degeneration or the series at large, you can shoot us an email at analogschtickmail@gmail.com. First link in the description, but that's it. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please support the podcast by leaving a review or rating on whatever platform you like to listen on. Subscribe or follow to stay up to date with what we're playing. And please send any kind letters about whatever to analogschtickmail@gmail.com. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.